Facebook and YouTube worlds for everybody to see.
Yes, if you weren't aware, we are live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So if you like YouTube better, go over there. Watch it on there if you want.
And not wearing pants. And you can't see.
Yeah, you can't tell. I don't have any pants on. I never wear pants when we record. It's like a ritual.
Yeah, it's kind of spooky.
And as you can hear, we have another special guest this week, just like we did last, but a different guy. He's kind of a stranger.
He is a stranger. He hasn't been with us for like
years.
Half a year. I don't even know.
Maybe. Well, that's because you guys don't wear pants. I mean,
it feels like a year.
Spookily, I came back, for the no pants dance.
Good. I'm glad you came back. So the dude's here for episode 113.
Welcome back.
Wow, it's 113?
113, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
When was the last time you were here? What were we on?
Well, you were on the cuspice of 100.
We were?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's 14, 15 weeks ago at least.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I wanted to start out with a little bit of... hold on.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Technical errors.
All right. I wanted to start out with some housekeeping, if that's all right with you, Jerry.
I love housekeeping.
I have some announcements.
Chris has been a little bit of a busy beaver.
And also some pleas.
Okay. A plea for help?
Yeah, a plea.
Well, if you need an intervention, we're here for that.
No, I don't need an intervention. But I should start off with a little bit of an apology for last week's episode.
Why?
Because it kind of devolved at the end.
That's all right.
Although it was solid all the way through. I just listened to it back. But
very good episode. Hilarious. I listened to it today. Very funny.
Yeah. But I was getting a little soused at the end of it.
So was there whiskey involved?
No. Bud Light Seltzer.
All the Bud Light Seltzers. All of them you can drink.
All of them that were here.
It's a headache in a can.
Never again.
Ever.
That hurt you so
Snarf
bad.
Does not recommend.
No.
Next time I'll try Corona seltzers.
I think anything that says seltzer in it is going to give you problems the next day, regardless of how many you drink. I mean, obviously, if you overindulge, yes, you are going to have a problem. But I honestly believe even if you drink 2 or 3, you're going to have a headache the next day.
Yeah.
Like it does something to your body.
Garbage in, garbage
Changes
out.
your chemistry.
Well, it just poisons you, I think. I think it's just straight poison.
No, I want to start out by saying I've been doing a little work on our website. I'll talk about that in a second. But I've noticed not only our listeners, our downloads from the podcast have been doing very well lately.
Yeah.
But also our views on both YouTube, but mostly on Facebook and YouTube have been phenomenal. And the traffic to our blog posts for the episodes have been very good.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody.
We very much appreciate that.
I feel like it's really getting some steam, but there's a couple things that we need from you, all our listeners.
Every one of you.
However you digest this content. If you're on Facebook, like and share the video. And I'm always going to pin to the top of our page the most recent episode. But as you're watching it, just hit like and share. Share it to your page. When you share it to your page,
holy smokes, does that
our
change
listens blow up. And then it also helps us reach other outside people outside of our circle, our little minuscule Grundy County circle. And that's what we're going for. And that's how we're going to grow it. If you're listening on Apple or Google, just comment and leave a review. That would be extremely helpful. And check out our website, which currently is snarfcomics.com. That's going to be changing to snarftalk.com.
Because guess what? That's the name of our stuff. Snarf Talk.
Yeah, we're kind of rebranding a little bit, abandoning our comic roots to a certain degree.
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Just by title alone.
But we are, as most of our listeners know, more of a pop culture and TV and movie and news podcast at this point.
I believe that's the talk portion of the Snarf.
Yeah. So we're going to rebrand as that. And then going with that, we're launching a whole new brand new website. It should be up by the end of February, probably sooner. Maybe even tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah. Couple weeks,
I'm going
tomorrow.
I've basically been blowing off my entire life's work to
You've been doing
build this site
a lot of work.
And migrate all of our existing blog posts, which are hundreds.
We have a lot of blog posts. So if you guys are...
Most of them are show notes. but that's fine.
They are, but within the show notes, there's the video to the episode, there's the audio to the episode. Everything is encompassed in one blog. So if you go to the website, you can get everything for every episode right there. It's very easy.
The other thing we're going to have on our new website is we're going to be able to sell merchandise direct. So we're going to have a store,
which will be much more efficient than the way we have sold in the past. So
yeah, so you'll be able to order and pay with a credit card right on our website. Order shirts, T-shirts, stickers, mugs, bags, anything, anything we can stick our
tattoos,
slobber our name all over. Yeah. We'll put our name on and we'll sell it to you.
Like a physical tattoo, an actual tattoo artist will come to your house or any meeting place that you set up with them. And physically tattoo a Snarf Talk logo on you.
Yeah.
It's a great deal.
You two should get matching tattoos.
I'm all for it.
You know
I
what?
love tattoos.
We should. I have no tattoos. I've always wanted one.
We could just put a big goat on your back, across your shoulders.
That would be awesome.
I've always thought, I've always wanted one, but I've never found anything that I could commit to.
Yeah.
And I feel like in 150 episodes,
do you think
I can
you're
fully
committed?
commit to this. So, yeah, I'm totally in for a tattoo. How about we do that for our a special event?
Yeah, and it'd have to be filmed.
Yeah.
That'd be a long episode, man.
Oh, I mean, we'll have to dissect it.
So
it'll be edited.
What would you get? The little black goat? Or would you get that goat over there?
You know what? I don't know.
It's on the coasters.
Oh, this one. This is actually drawn by a tattoo artist.
So I was talking about this one.
Oh, yeah.
The little black goat.
These coasters will be for sale, too, on our website. We'll also be able to take donations directly through our website, which gets me to my next thing. Patreon.com/SnarfComics. This is the push we need, guys. We need people to sign up even for $1 or $5 a month, whatever, because we have big plans coming up in the future with this new website. We are actually working and in the process of hiring bloggers to be regulars, producing content under our brand. And we're also going to start, hopefully, me and Jerry are going to outline story ideas for comic books and hire out the production and become a production company.
Yeah.
That's our plan, but we need funding to do that.
Right. It's
and you get something for it, especially with Patreon. You get something out of it. You get tons of added bonuses at all of our tier levels.
And at some of those tier levels, you get either a character in a comic book, your name in a comic book, like credited in a comic book, one of those three things, or all of those three things. So you could be a character in the comic book, like physically drawn. It may not be your name, but your picture, you are going to be physically drawn in a comic book. So
yeah, and we're also going to start some start slow, but we're going to start pushing out some advertising once we get the blog. Once we get generating regular content, we're going to be doing some advertising on Google and Facebook to get this a little bit more out there and get the brand a little more aware in the big scheme of things.
We're blowing up in 2021. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and we need your help to do it, and we won't forget the original people.
Absolutely.
When we're gigantic celebrities.
Yes. Huge influencers in the United States.
Huge. Oh, yeah. You're big in Texas.
Well, and Russia.
We are big in Texas and Maryland for some reason.
Yeah, I know. Maryland and Texas are huge, but Canada, we're starting to get downloads in Canada. Russia's a constant. It's only like 2 people, but
they're probably my website developers because I have that's where my web development team is based out of. Actually, they're based out of the Ukraine, so maybe that wouldn't be the same.
Oh, really? Well, if you are listening in Russia, thank you so much for the download.
Yes,
it surprises me every time.
Kiev.
Yes, Kiev. Mazel tov. I know.
That's
a Jewish thing. Oh, okay. It sounded Russian.
Well, I mean, I guess you could be.
Yeah, there's a lot
Russian
of Russian
and Jewish.
There's lots of Russian Jews.
There are.
Yeah,
I thought they were all like.
Haven't you ever seen Fiddler on the Roof?
No, I haven't.
Dr. Zhivago?
Maybe.
Is Fiddler on the Roof set in Russia?
Yeah.
I thought it was set in Hungary or something. Well, it was probably USSR.
I've been to Hungary.
Pretty sure it's the USSR.
That's the only. I've been to Hungary, but not.
I've been hungry.
Not Russia. Well, of course you've been hungry, Chris.
So that's all of my updates. A lot of promo stuff, a lot of help needed, and so check out patreon.com/snarfcomics soon to be patreon.com/snarftalk. Once we complete the rebranding.
The rebranding of 2021.
So I got a question.
Yes.
Are you guys going to sue for the rights to Jetpack Samurai?
Are we going to sue Jon Favreau? Yes. We are.
Why? We have the rights.
Well, yeah, but they ripped us off.
Totally,
Well, they did.
Totally stole it, Mandalorian, from you guys. I would be insanely pissed.
Somewhat. I mean, the idea we've had, but it wasn't necessarily the Mandalorian. It was just of a
It's
samurai that had
really
a jetpack.
close.
It's like he's in a different area every week, every comic, and he has a jetpack and flies around, and he has a sword.
In a Western setting.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds
And we were going to basically rip off. I mean, it's all a rip off of Kurosawa and
Yeah.
Japanese samurai films and Westerns.
in the spaghetti
Absolutely.
westerns.
And that's what we said when we set this out. We're like,
This
we
is what we
want to
want to
rip
do.
those things
Yeah.
off. Somebody just beat us to it.
Well, I think there's actually a podcast like way back in the
There
day
is,
where
yeah.
we talked about this. I mean,
Oh, it's all documented. If we needed to, we could go back and find it. But yeah, they just beat us to it because of funding.
there's a word for that.
And that's what their jobs are. Like that was their specific job, is to do that kind of thing, you know? Like they didn't have to do anything else with their life but that.
Yeah.
And they've had years in advance to do it.
Yeah.
So maybe they did come
We
up
have
with the
also
idea.
had years.
that's what I was going to say next.
We
Wait
have.
a minute here.
We have, but I mean, we haven't had years in advance of nothing else to do but that.
Danny said, yes, Stitch the Goat, best part of Snarf Talk.
Yeah.
Is that the name of our goat?
Stitch?
Yeah.
I think he meant like tattoo. Stitch.
Oh, I don't know the lingo. I'm not a tattoo guy.
I don't think that's the lingo. Dan, if that's the lingo, let me know.
You need to
but
let us know.
I think he just meant like stitch the goat on things.
Oh, yeah.
More.
Well, we're going to stitch the goat on everything. Anything you can think of. I mean, they have the most innocuous little trinkets on the website we're using.
Right.
And we're going to put our logo on it. So
Yeah,
if
we
you
are.
need like a...
Luggage tags.
yeah, or like pot holders.
Or Heelys. We may have a set of Heelys that you could wear.
It's my goal.
What are Heelys?
Oh, they're little shoes with a roller in the heel that
Those
you
are
could...
wheelies.
No, they're Heelys. They're called Heelys. He's right.
Yeah, Heely is the brand. You literally lean back on your heels and ride around
All right. This is an argument I don't want to have.
because you'll lose.
Look it up. I think that
I will.
Heelys is a brand, but they're called
Yeah.
wheelies.
Okay. Well, speaking of nothing to do with that, I noticed your shirt, dude. I have been on the biggest sriracha kick of my lifetime right now. I've been eating it with every meal,
It's awesome.
and I've always loved it. But the other day, I found out I was looking it up. I'm like, I wonder what kind, because it's Korean, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
Asian.
It's Korean.
But
Okay.
sriracha, I'm not sure. I think that's Japanese. Or not Chinese, I mean, but
I don't know.
Whatever.
The first time I had it,
I feel bad 'cause I
way
should know this.
way before, because I'm way ahead of the curve, right? Way before they had it in the United States, I went to Korea. My sister lived there, and on the airplane over to Korea on Korean Air, the meal was bibimbap, which is rice. It's usually rice. Hot rice and vegetables and stuff in a bowl, usually a hot stone bowl, and they crack an egg into it, and the egg cooks inside of it. And it got served with little mini bottles of sriracha. First time I ever heard of it.
Sriracha's from Thailand,
Okay.
by the way.
Okay.
Either way. But, and then all of a sudden it takes off in the U.S. Anyway, so I was interested in learning more about it because I want to know what kind of peppers it was made from. It's made from fucking jalapenos.
What?
It is?
Red jalapenos.
Are you serious? I was
Yeah.
just looking it up, too, now.
'Cause it's made in California now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, they had a big.
it's amazing.
There was a couple years ago. The guy who owned the company had to leave California, if I remember
Yeah.
right. Because
A hybrid, jalapeno hybrid chili pepper.
sweet. I mean, that's why it's so good.
So it's Asian hot sauce made from Mexican peppers. Or they're just jalapenos all over the globe.
It's probably all over the globe, the red chili
But
pepper.
jalapeno is decidedly a Mexican name, a Spanish,
You're right. It is.
Hispanic word.
But it's considered a
Or is it
hybrid, so
Italian?
I don't know. Maybe it's,
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
give me a jalapeno.
I don't think it's Italian. It's got a little thing over the end.
Yeah, an enye.
And yeah, an enye.
Wow.
That's what it is, an enye. It's not an N.
The letter is an enye, but that thing has a name too.
Tilde.
Wow.
Man.
I don't think
You're welcome.
is what's the little accent thing? That's the tilde.
Is a tilde just an accent?
Yeah, it's the little.
But I thought and then that's just an enye is the one with the, because there's an N, but then there's an enye.
Yeah, you're right.
Which Enye
And
is
that's what
female?
has the squiggle over it.
No, enye is just a letter.
Oh, I'm not very
Yeah.
fluent in.
Neither am I. I can't
Espanol?
speak any of it. I just have retained that information for some reason.
Mr. Torbeck.
All right, so that's all I got for that. Do we want to get into some news?
Yeah, I
or-
got a bunch of news
you got,
to go.
You got anything out of the gate you've been dying to
No,
Talk about?
Okay.
not really.
Nothing?
Jerry's got a whole boatload of news. Also, guys, we're going to talk a little Doctor Who in the second half, and me and Jerry are going to talk our top 5 favorite doctors
in the new
in
generation.
the new generation of
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
So-
So that's coming up.
As of 2005.
Yeah.
From 2005 on. So that, I mean, new generation, but that's still like 18 years.
Yeah.
17 years. No,
Wow.
16 years.
16
Okay.
years.
Got
We
'em all.
got the math down.
I'm so
The
old.
age at which you quit taking math class,
Right.
apparently.
Basically 16 years. That's not far off. Yeah, so we are going to talk Doctor Who. There's 5 of them that I'm going to rank, you're going to rank, and I thought it was relatively easy in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't difficult, but there was the end grouping. Could have just kind of went anyway. We'll talk about it.
Kind of, yeah. I tell you what, real quick off the bat, though. Star Wars may be something that has like solidified itself in my whole life as what brought me into like nerd culture and then getting into comic books and whatnot. But Doctor Who has sustained it for the long haul. I mean, that has brought back to life a part of me I didn't even know needed to be awakened. When you introduced Doctor Who to me, I was like, I did not know I needed this, but now I have it, and it's changed everything for the better. I mean, it is a show that everybody should watch, and we're going to talk about like the main characters that have changed over time, and that shows you the power of a show like this is that you can take the main character and give it a completely different person, a completely different actor. It's still the same character, but a completely different actor can take over that role, and it still continues through like time. And I think that's amazing because the writing and the character itself is just so good.
I used to watch it back when we call it the New Generation first came out, and it'd be the second Doctor of the New Generation, which I'll let you guys talk about that. And
Yeah.
he was my favorite.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will. Yes, but I do have some news. So, have you heard about a little comic book thing called Justice League Dark?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Great.
I've never actually read a Justice League Dark comic, but I love the DC animated movie.
Yes, and I've watched it. It's very good.
There's one by themselves, isn't it? And then there's the last Justice League animated movie before they rebooted it.
Yeah, you're right. There was 2.
2, correct? Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've talked about it before, but they had talked about doing a TV show, a Justice League Dark TV show, and now they finally confirmed that JJ Abrams is going to helm a Justice League Dark show for sure on HBO Max. There's no set timeline yet, but everything's been approved. It's going to be produced. He's helming it and writing part of it, and Justice League Dark is going to happen by JJ Abrams on HBO Max.
So JJ Abrams is kind of on my shit list right
Thank
now.
you.
Oh, I know. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
But I'm definitely. I mean, is Swamp Thing going to be in it?
They haven't
Just
said.
Constantine.
They
or-
know. Shoot, there's 2 people that have been confirmed, and I didn't write it down. Katana. How do you say her name?
Katana.
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 Yeah, her.
I think it's Zantana.
That's it. That's what I'm thinking. Zantana.
Yeah.
Is the female like sorceress?
Yes,
she's great.
she's going to be in it, and then there was one other that was confirmed, and I don't remember who
It's
it
got
was.
to be Constantine.
It has to be.
He's
He's
standard.
Probably.
He's the one that melds it all together.
Yeah, it would probably be that, but I remember the Zatanna part of it. But they haven't talked about any other characters yet. They put out, HBO Max put out a release that said, absolutely, JJ Abrams is going to do a Justice League Dark show.
Sweet. Well, I'm always in. I don't think they'll do Swamp Thing. He doesn't necessarily need to be in it to make a Justice League Dark show.
He needs to be in it, Chris.
It would be amazing, and maybe they will bring him in, but I doubt he's part of the original core.
He probably won't be, but he'll probably be a reoccurring character, I bet you, that pops up throughout the show.
By the way, Nolan said, I thought it was interesting, Sriracha, made by a woman named Thanom Chekapak, in the Thai town of
Sriracha. That was the most racist way to say that. Sriracha.
Let me look up
I think that's the right way to pronounce it, though.
full Justice League team.
How would you say it? SRI space RACHA.
Well, it's Sri Lanka, so it's probably
Sriracha.
It's right here.
It's probably Sriracha.
Or just call it cock sauce.
A lot of people do say that. I've called
That's
it that multiple times.
That's all. Krista is the first one that she brought it when she first moved into the house, and
You're like, what's that rooster?
what's that? And she said, it's cock sauce. I'm like, awesome.
All right, Volume 1 of the comic Justice League Dark featured Madame Xanadu, John Constantine, Zatanna, Deadman. I forgot about it.
Oh
Deadman.
yeah, he's a good character.
Oh, yeah, Deadman is really good.
Shade, the Changing Man. Not that familiar. I mean,
No.
I've heard of it, but Andrew Bennett, which was that vampire, Black Orchid, Dr. Mist, Frankenstein, Princess Amaya of House Amethyst. Wow, that's a mouthful. Timothy Hunter, and Tim. Swamp Thing, the Phantom Stranger. I like the Phantom Stranger.
Yeah.
Pandora, Zerial. Oh, Etrigal, the demon.
Yeah.
Etrigan, yes. Dr. 13, Mento and Raven, and Tim.
And Tim.
And
Hey, I'm Tim.
what's your last
and
name?
then
Hunter.
Eventually in Volume 2, Wonder Woman joined up with them. And Animal Man, who's
at-
one of my favorite characters.
At the end of the day-
so I may have to go read some comics. That kind of interest. Those are a lot of good characters.
At the end of the day, the one character that brings them all together is Swamp Thing.
Constantine.
Pretty much.
Well, I'm all in for it. JJ, just don't fuck it up, JJ.
I know.
It's Warner Brothers. They're gonna fuck it up.
They really are.
Have you?
Well, it's
you
Bad
guys saw
Robot.
Wonder Woman.
It's Bad Robot,
Yeah.
though. The Bad Robot production company is the one that will be doing
Maybe they'll
it.
get Damon Lindelof in.
Maybe. He's good.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck it
Erica
up.
says, hi, dude.
Hi, Han.
Oh,
Thanks for the
hello.
beer.
Yeah, we're
Oh, yeah,
drinking
that's-
your beer right now. And hey, we never officially said thank you for the beer. I did.
I did. I was with her when she
Fuck,
dropped it
I was
off.
such an asshole.
Yeah,
Thank
same
you.
here.
That was amazing.
Speaking of beer, Jerry,
Absolutely. No,
Chris, you went-
I'm good.
Chris, would you like a tasty beverage?
We don't have any cold ones.
They're all in the fridge.
It's
All right, fine.
All right, next little bit of news I have is kind of similar on the Justice League Dark front in tone, and it's a comic book called Sandman.
Yeah. Neil Gaiman.
That comic book and Neil Gaiman.
One of my favorite writers of all time.
Yeah,
Love that dude.
I know. So they're also making a TV show of that, right?
Of course, yes. And that's on Netflix. Netflix.
Or Amazon.
One of those two.
It's
believe
Netflix or Amazon. I didn't look at that. I wasn't paying attention because I was just looking at the castings. They've released some of the castings that are happening for Sandman.
Oh, really?
And Tom Sturridge.
Tom Arnold?
Tom Arnold, yes. And Roseanne will be starring in... No, Tom Sturridge, he doesn't really have much notable to his, what he's been doing except for Pirate Radio, the movie that came out in 2009.
I watched that.
So
We talked about that on the podcast once.
We did,
because
yes.
I was confused between that and Bohemian, something Bohemian.
I don't remember. I remember talking about Pirate Radio, but I don't remember why we were confused about it. But isn't that one guy's in it that's a very good actor who died overdosed?
got narrowed
blonde
down
hair.
there, Jerry.
Huh?
Yeah.
You got narrowed down.
Yeah,
The good
I
actor
know.
died of an overdose.
I can't remember. He was in Capote, the main character in Capote. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Tom Sturridge was in that movie. He is playing the role of Sandman, of Morpheus. He's going to play that role, which if you look at a picture of him I think he will.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. That's the guy. I think this gentleman will be very good in that role. He's very sleek.
Will he be as good as Alan Rickman would have been in that role?
Probably not. He's skinnier, and I think will look like the character better than what Alan Rickman would, but he's not gonna act or sound any better. I can guarantee you that. But what I thought was interesting that they cast as Lucifer. Lucifer, as you know, like there's a TV show Lucifer, but in the comic book Lucifer, they do kind of gender him as a male. Mm-hmm. They don't, even though it's like an angelic being, right? It could technically look or be whatever it wants to be, but they do classify it as a male in the comic books, but they have cast a female. Can you take any wild guess? I mean, I know it's a hard pick, but any wild guess on who it would be?
Kristen Ritter.
No, but that would be a good pull, I think.
Selena Gomez.
Oh, no, not anywhere close. It's a crazy pick, I think, but Gwendolyn Christie. She was in Game of Thrones, like the really big chick in Game of Thrones, the knight.
Oh, yeah.
Blonde hair.
Captain Phasma.
Yes, Captain Phasma as well.
Okay.
She's like 6'6".
She's great.
Just very giant.
That's a good pick for an
I was very surprised that they picked her, but she's going to be playing Lucifer. There is also claims that Terron Edgerton has been cast in a role, but they didn't release anything about him and who he's playing. They released basically the whole cast. Everybody else in the show, nobody would know. So Losers. I didn't really want to... Like, I could say their names and everybody would be like, okay, well, I don't know who that is. I thought I'd tell you who Sandman was, even though we don't know who he is, because that's the main character. And then Gwendolyn Christie is the biggest other name that I've heard. But they did say Terron Edgerton was cast as someone. It wasn't released with the big press release of everyone else, though. So I'm wondering who he could be playing.
Cool. I'm definitely down for that.
Yes, as am I. And that's
Can't
coming.
Wait.
I mean, now that they have the cast, I'm sure production will start within a year, probably. Whenever they start production on anything again. That's aggravating. Batman's going. Batman's been producing.
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 3 starts here pretty quick. They just announced today.
Oh, really?
Start filming season 3.
I thought they already had.
No.
Or had started. They were usually pretty quick with that.
It just came out because I was reading up on HBO. See how we're talking about Warner Brothers and HBO?
Yeah.
Did you guys see they announced it, was it yesterday, maybe the day before, how every new movie coming out on Warner Brothers?
Oh, yeah, they released that a while ago.
But like Dune.
Well, that's not 100%.
They haven't
yet.
said Dune officially because
it was
that's
flashed,
co-owned by Legendary Pictures.
It was flashed last night that it was one of the movies, the ad that I saw.
Well, it's in a lawsuit.
Oh,
it
okay.
is, because Denis Villeneuve is...
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Yes.
Denis
Villeneuve
is real pissed about this. Like, he claimed that it's his best movie to date, and he doesn't think it's giving him like a fair shake, just throwing it out on streaming right off the bat.
And Legendary Pictures is the producer, one of the producers of that. And
isn't that Mel Gibson's company?
No, it's not.
Does he have a company?
He does,
Oh,
but it's not that.
Oh.
But anyway, they're one of the producers, and they're suing Warner Brothers right now.
Yep.
About it.
So the reason this all caught my eye is Bryce and Grady must have had a scheme going to go see Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes, I'm going to bring that up,
Okay,
actually, because Grady's been asking me every day about this movie, and I finally showed him when it was being released. Well, I might as well just talk about it tonight, or right now, is that I was going to say the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer came out, and I love monster movies.
Yeah, me too.
And that freaking trailer makes it look awesome. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's awesome.
It is awesome looking, and so obviously they're going to be battling each other, and the talk is that there has been a year-long war between these two, what do they call them?
Megafauna?
Like monsters. No, it's not. It would, like in science, yes, it would be called that. But between Kongs and Godzilla, they've been fighting for centuries. When these are the last two left. So when they found each other, they had Kong on a boat, and then Godzilla ends up finding him and coming out of the water. And then in one part, like Kong breaks free of the chains on this boat, and he stands up looking in the water, and he starts screaming at the water, and then Godzilla comes up out of it, and he just punches the crap right out of his face.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
It's great.
So they, obviously they're going to fight, but apparently there's a bigger foe that they
Of
say
course,
they
there
should team
is.
up and fight that thing. But either way, I'm in. Take my money. I want to watch
It'll
this
be
so
Mothra.
bad. What I am so excited about, though, is that Grady's just as excited about this because he saw a trailer for it just randomly. And he keeps coming to me and he says, Dad, do you know about Godzilla and Kong? And I said, yeah, I know about it. He said, but it's a brand new movie. How do you already know? And I said, well, it's not new. I mean, these have been around for a long time. He's like, are you serious? They have? I said, yeah, they're not new characters. He's like, oh. He's like, well, I want to go see it. He's like, isn't it coming out like tomorrow or something? And I said, no, it's not tomorrow. He said, I'm pretty sure it said tomorrow.
I had a very similar conversation with Bryce.
And he's like, I think movies come out on Saturdays. And I said, well, tomorrow's not Saturday, but it doesn't come out this Saturday. I said, I'll look up when it's coming out. I said, I think it's the end of March. I looked it up. It's May 21st. So it's a ways away. And then I told him, I was like, look, and I counted it out. I was like, it's 4 months away. He's like, oh. He's like, is that because it's like a 5-hour movie or something? It takes that long to put together. I was like, no, grade. Like it's probably
kids.
not.
Well,
I know they're
Welcome to becoming an adult. Son.
his mindset on how movies are is just baffling to me. But he also believed that these characters were brand new because they are to him, obviously. And he's like, man, it's a brand new movie. Have you ever heard of King Kong?
It's great, and that makes me think of all of the people, like us sometimes even though we're fairly positive about things, who shit on remakes and new takes on old characters.
Right.
And, for somebody, that's their first time.
Yes.
And it's not acceptable necessarily to be like, you don't have to make it again. Just make your kid watch the 80s version. Well, I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that.
No. A lot of times they won't want to watch it. So if you ever want to bring them into a certain media or a character or whatever, you may need a newer version to do that. If you try to force an older show on them that they do not want to watch or have no interest in, it will ruin it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So I tried getting Grace to get into Marvel for a long time. And all of a sudden, about 3 weeks ago, Grace decided she wanted to watch the second Avengers movie. All right, so that's cool. We start watching it, and she has all these questions. I'm like, all right, time out. We got to go back.
You dropped Bryce off that night to my house,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I got to go home and watch Avengers with Grace because she's
She
really
wanted
into
to
it.
start with the second one.
Well, she'd already seen the first one.
Oh,
She
okay.
So she just thought we'd go to Avengers 2. When we start watching that, she has all these questions. I'm like, all right, we got to go back. So we started back with it. I go, have you ever seen the original Captain America? She goes, no. I said, all right. So that's when we started watching the original Captain America. Well, then she watched the second Captain America without me. And then she used to watch Civil War without me. And then she realized, hey, there's a bunch of movies I got to watch. I'm like,
There's 21
well,
of
it's
them.
better than YouTube. Yeah. So she went back and she's been watching them every night after school, all of the Marvel movies.
That's great.
And she's like, and I love every second of it.
I wish I could get my kids interested in any of that.
Yeah.
It just hits.
I mean, Cash has watched all the Marvel movies for the most part, and he likes them.
Grady hasn't.
But see, him and Bryce and Cash, I think, are too young. Where she understands,
They're a little too young. Yeah.
She understands how some of the jokes that go behind it, like Captain America in Avengers 2: Age of Ultron, where he says language. Because they're fighting, an army, and he says language. She gets the joke, and she understands a little bit more of an adult stuff.
Yeah.
So
it is amazing to see every single year as the kids get older what they can and can't recognize.
Yeah.
And I can really see it between Grady and Grant, because Grant is still a little bit obviously more childish, being only 6, and then Grady's getting a little more serious, and what they ingest from a show is completely different from each other. I mean, Grady will ask me questions that are a little bit more mature, even it's not mature, right? But it's more mature than what Grant's talking about. Grant's talking about the silly things that made him laugh. Grady's asking, why did he say this? Or why did he do this?
Yeah.
And it's really fun to see.
Did she point out the fact that Avengers 2 is a dog shit movie?
Hot garbage. Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Age of Ultron. That's a.
Got vision from it.
That's true.
And
another
Wanda.
thing, I was thinking about how you just said how we shit on remakes and stuff like that. How many times has Batman been remade just in our lifetimes?
Right, and that's one thing that it just nobody seems to care when it's Batman.
Yeah,
That is true.
I don't shit on remakes. I
so-
like remakes.
so you
I
got-
personally, but
well,
I used to, but I used to shit on it because I was like, this is so dumb. Why we have to remake all this stuff? But so many of them have been incredibly good.
yeah.
And now, seeing that it is the first time for a lot of people,
yes.
I agree. I think it's very good to do. I think it's very good to get people into a genre.
Right.
Because, I mean, just for the content, I mean, just Batman alone, you have the two, Michael Keaton. You have
Yeah.
Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, George Clooney with Batman and Robin, and then it starts over with the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
Then you got Ben Affleck, which,
I liked him as Batman.
So me too. I want 3 hours of the warehouse scene.
We're getting another Ben Affleck Batman, right?
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah.
Is he coming back? Is that official?
It's official, yeah.
Flashpoint. Yeah. The Flash movie. Yeah.
Which supposedly Michael Keaton's coming back to play.
He's going to be like the main Batman in that movie.
Yeah, he's Bruce Wayne's father.
Could be Thomas
He's
Wayne.
going to be
Thomas
Thomas.
Wayne.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Is it, I wonder if they'll do the Flash, because it's in Flashpoint, right?
If
Where
he's
they
in-
go back and Thomas Wayne is Batman.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he shoots, he has a gun.
He's
Yes.
because Bruce got killed and he
That's what they're
sold
going
his
to do.
company, makes a casino. Yeah,
That was another.
I had that comic and it disappeared.
This was a great transition because another little piece of news is that Flash is supposed to start shooting this spring.
All right.
So finally, they're going to do something.
Cross your
with this.
fingers. Hopefully, Warner Brothers can make a good movie.
Make a good movie and keep a director. Because the problem with this movie originally was that directors kept falling out, writers kept falling out, everybody kept throwing it.
So
to the
originally
wayside.
this was
Because
gonna
Warner
be-
Brothers went, we don't care about the story, we just want money.
Yeah. that's
Originally, this
exactly
was
what
going to
they
be
did.
written and directed by Ezra Miller, right? Or just written? He was
Yeah,
the
so
original
he-
screenwriter.
No, he
Really?
was like the third.
Oh.
So there was like 2 or 3 before him that were writing the story, and he was so frustrated with the fact that his movie isn't going to get made. He's like, screw it, I'm going to write it myself. And I think this is the version they're using.
I think so, yeah.
Is Ezra Miller's version of the Flashpoint stuff.
There's a lot of him punching women outside of Norwegian bars,
Yes.
Icelandic
Angry and
bars.
drunk. Yep.
It's Islamic.
Okay, you want more news?
Yeah, news it
You
up.
got anything else you want to discuss about Ezra Miller and
No.
beating women? You want to bring that up again?
I mean, he just punched her.
You know that's a sore spot for me.
What? Getting punched or punching women?
Both.
She punched him first.
Have you ever punched a
Yeah, and
woman,
they were
Jerry?
like screaming at him. No, I never have. I've choked out a girl once before with my legs, like in a scissor lock.
You want to take that one? You want me to?
So I'll tell you the story.
Please do.
Yeah. This was in basic training actually, and I trained with girls too. They were females
okay.
were part of
Yeah.
it, and since I was the smallest guy, obviously I was very short, and when I was going into my senior year, like between my junior and senior year, I weighed 115 pounds. I was a small person, and since I was so small, they took the biggest girl and me, and they're like, during combatives, like hand-to-hand combat, they were teaching us like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and we had to fight in this sand pit. And the first thing they did was pick me and the biggest girl, and they're like, you guys are going to fight each other, because they wanted to laugh, you know? So I asked right off the bat, I was like, drill sergeant, how physical can we get during this? He said, we want to see somebody get choked out. And I was like, I cannot get choked out right now because I'm going to get beat to death when I get back to the barracks. Like, I can't have this happen. So we went after it, and then I choked her out in between my legs, like got her in a scissor lock, and believe me, it was difficult. She was very strong. She was a very strong young lady, and we were friends after that. Like, I got along with her. Yeah, but that's the story. I choked her.
History of violence.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Right
interesting. So, anyways, about the Mighty Ducks.
They're not
Quack. quack, 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 quack.
Flying V. No, I don't know if you're going to get any of that, but the Mighty Ducks Game Changers is coming to Disney Plus.
Nice.
TV show.
Right. Do you think they'll have a knuckle puck?
Yeah.
I forgot about the knuckle puck.
I guarantee you they will, but here's the deal. It's different than I thought it was. Do you know anything about this show?
No, I know nothing about
Well,
it. We've talked about it briefly.
We have, but we never really knew what it was going to be about, right? So there is a trailer out for it now.
And is Gordon Bombay in it? That's all that matters.
I've watched the trailer.
Emilio Estevez.
I read about it. Yes, he absolutely is.
Nice.
Gordon Bombay is in it. Emilio Estevez is portraying
so they're
Gordon
going
Bombay.
full Cobra Kai on this.
That's exactly where I was going. It looks so much like Cobra Kai. It feels like Cobra Kai. Here's the deal. 12-year-old boy tries out for the ultimate hockey team for kids, the Mighty Ducks. The Mighty Ducks are what they labeled as, the ultra-competitive, win-at-all-cost Mighty Ducks. So they are basically like the evil team.
So they've lost their way.
They've lost their way. They're ultra-competitive. They have to win everything. You try out for them.
Just like Ralph Macchio.
This 12-year-old boy gets cut, and he didn't make it to the Mighty Ducks. Well, his mom, Lauren Graham, a crush of mine, Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Gosh, I love that show.
They talk really fast.
She does talk really fast, but I've always had a crush on her.
Would you choke her out?
If they throw me in a combatives ring, what do I have to do? I'm not going to get beat.
Whack!
So Lauren Graham is his mom, and she says, like, you know what? Like, you get cut. Do you want to play hockey? He says, yes. Let's make our own team. And he's like, well, how are we going to do that? And then they just happen to go to this old rundown shanty ice rink. Gordon Bombay is there fixing a Zamboni. and he ends up being the coach of this, like, you know,
I love it.
group of
I'm so
little
excited
boys.
about
Misfits.
this.
And then, yeah, this
I love it.
ragtag group of misfits.
You know it won't be as adult-oriented as Cobra Kai, though.
No.
No, I don't think so at all.
'Cause that's
because
like borderline.
Light beers for pussies.
they
They won't make the Oreo line joke, I'll tell you that. You
so-
remember that?
the what?
In Mighty Ducks?
Say
They got
it
the two white kids and the black kid in the middle. They're like, we're the Oreo line. Or the two black kids. I don't know.
Nope, they won't do that again.
Nope. Not on Disney.
You'll never see that joke again anywhere,
They probably edited it out of the movie.
probably. But it does look really good. I would suggest go watch the trailer for this. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be really good.
I'll watch it.
I don't like hockey, but I love hockey for kids.
I love
I
hockey.
love watching hockey.
I
as
love
kids.
hockey movies. Big
That's what I
time.
mean. Like hockey movies
Like
are great.
Miracle.
Yeah.
I like that one with the one Goon. That's a really good movie.
Goon. I've never seen it.
Goon. Oh, that's what
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott.
So Kevin Smith was going to make a hockey movie exactly like that,
Yep.
but Goon came out first.
It's a very jetpack samurai Mandalorian situation.
Yeah, right. It really is.
He was writing it, and then they came out with it.
So like I said, go watch that trailer. It's very good. The release date on this is coming up March 26th.
Mr. Ted Ely says, you couldn't get a better guest? What the fuck?
He's just jealous because he's not on. Hi, Ted. You're not wanted here. Ha ha.
So yeah, March 26th, look for the Mighty Ducks. I'm all in for that. Also coming to HBO Max on February 1st, it's nothing new, but it's a pretty big trilogy. Do you
What's
want to know
that?
what it is?
What's the time again? I'm sorry.
February 1st.
February 1st?
Coming to on Monday.
I have no idea. What?
The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
The Matrix trilogy is all coming to
Oh, the
HBO
old
Max.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Not the new one, Chris.
Is there anywhere you can get them
They're
right
making
now?
a new one.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
excited
Matrix
for
4.
it.
It's been filming for a long time.
Can you get them anywhere? I don't know. Probably.
They were on Netflix. I
Honestly,
thought.
I'd be interested to go see not the
I
first
will-
one, but the second or third again.
I will
mean,
rewatch them.
I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
I wasn't fond
Oh,
of the third one by any means.
Second's the best.
I liked them all.
Oh, well, at the time when it came out, with the surround sound and the digital effects, they were like, so when they come out, early 2000.
Very early. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
it was like-
the Matrix, the first one was like 99, wasn't it?
Yes, it was one right after I graduated, or right about
Had to
that
have
time.
been.
Right about in there. But I remember the physical.
It's when I
just being-
started eating solid food.
Dolan said, I heard that every time the Mighty Ducks beat an opponent, they give the other team a bonsai tree. Jerry doesn't get it because he doesn't watch Cobra Kai.
I don't get it at all.
Don't feel bad. I watched like one episode. I went, no.
It's so good.
I'm running out of stuff to watch, so I'm gonna have to go back.
You need
and
to watch it.
I need to
It's
watch
great.
it. I just
Chris and I made a pact that we're going to watch shows that.
Yeah, he
I
has
gotta
to
watch-
watch Cobra Kai, and I gotta watch Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
Oh, Peaky Blinders is awesome. You'll get addicted.
I know.
We'll see.
I know he will.
All right, what else you got?
My goodness.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say about the Matrix. I have rewatched the first Matrix not that long ago, and the effects they don't hold up.
They don't hold
They don't hold
as
up as
going.
good
No.
as. You
Oh, no,
remember.
I'm sure they
Especially
don't.
that bullet time one. I mean, he looks like a cartoon character.
Really?
Yeah.
And then on the third one, where is the second one? He's fighting that's the third one where he's fighting the one agent, and he's bouncing around on their heads. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
this is
I remember that.
Yeah.
horrible.
I remember not really enjoying the third one as much, just because of like the whole like underground party scene and them coming out of
Yeah.
them vats of goo, the egg things.
Yeah, with there were the battery containers.
Yeah, I don't like that. I didn't like that. I thought it was weird.
Okay, that's a weird thing to think was
Yeah.
odd about the movie.
Really?
I remember
mean,
them having like a party.
really strange.
In this
Yeah.
underground city, they had like a party, and
Yes.
there was like a dance scene, and I'm like,
Big time
what is
dancing.
going on?
Yeah, and Keanu Reeves was like he had like a
He was getting
sex
down.
scene,
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
and then they leave that and then go watch this
We're gonna
party.
take our airship called the Nebuchadnezzar.
yeah, yeah, Nebuchadnezzar. It was weird.
It was a great movie.
Hopefully the third one's better.
Plug me in.
Let's see. Where do we go from here? Now we go to another new Disney Plus movie.
Ooh, what could it be?
Well, this movie's called Rhea and the Last Dragon.
Yes,
We've talked
Oh.
about this before.
Yeah.
So it's getting released very soon. And they just released a trailer for this. Did you see it?
No.
My gosh, you guys are missing out
Oh,
on some
I have
good
seen that
trailers.
trailer.
I've
I
seen the
have seen
trailer.
that trailer. Yes.
Because
Looks really cool.
it
does.
looks so
It
good.
looks good.
It's being released March 5th, so it's coming up in a little over a month.
2 days after my birthday.
And there's the Last Dragon. So there is these people, like these groups of people that are searching for the Last Dragon because they believe that's what's going to give them the power to like be normal again. And they're fighting for it. Well, the main character, Rhea, finds the Last Dragon. And the Last Dragon happens to be voiced by Awkwafina. Do you know that character?
Oh yeah, yeah, I know who she is.
A lot of people don't. I know her. She was in the second Jumanji movie. And
Yeah, she was good.
she's awesome.
Yeah,
She's really great.
She's a comedian.
So I think her name is ridiculous. I don't understand the whole Awkwafina thing, but that's her brand, and she has made it. But they're saying that her performance as this dragon is rivaling Robin Williams as the genie.
Ooh, well, we'll see.
Wow.
I think that's some pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And whoever wrote that,
No Eddie Murphy as a dragon in Mulan, though.
He was pretty good at that too.
he was pretty good at that, but I still think the genie is like what is
Oh, yeah.
like the cusp
Yeah, but-
of what you could be.
But it's Robin Williams. I mean,
Exactly.
I preferred Will Smith.
No, you didn't.
no, you didn't.
He was good though.
He was fine.
I like how they brought aspects of Rob Williams into the Aladdin.
Yeah, they
but-
paid homage.
They very much so, but they still made Will Smith his own thing, which
Yeah.
I really like that.
That makes me even more excited though for this movie is that if that's even in the realm of possibility to talk about, that she's going to rival like a Robin Williams genie in the way of like funny, goofy, heartfelt, like just good acting as a cartoon character, I'm in.
Is she a
I'm
princess?
No,
Is this
she's a
sorry,
dragon.
Is this a princess movie?
I don't know. All I know is that Rhea, this young girl, is searching for the last dragon. She ends up finding it, and the last dragon is Awkwafina. At one point, she does turn into in a human form. I think it's by accident. I'm not sure how she turns into a human form. It shows it in the trailer. And the one line she says was, she's like, "Holy cow, look how close my butt is. That'll make digestion so much easier." I thought that was pretty funny. Or so much quicker. Digestion will be so much quicker looking at her butt. I think it looks really great. I think the animation looks really good as well.
We got a comment. Ted Ely said, "What the hell are you guys even talking about? Have you ever seen a John Wayne movies?"
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes,
I
Ted.
love
I've
John
seen
Wayne.
them all,
Seen,
and
like, all of
again,
them.
that's why you're not on the podcast.
Yeah. The Cowboys is my favorite John Wayne movie. Either that or Rooster Cogburn.
Yeah,
The
that's
Quiet
a good
Man.
one.
Quiet Man's very good too.
It's my favorite movie of all, second or third.
McClintock's like a funny one.
Yeah.
And I always quote it because I say, just to my parents basically, because we used to watch them all the time.
Yeah.
And my dad's like
Catherine O'Hara.
obsessed with John Wayne, but I always say, "Hey McClintock, where the whiskey?" Because there's an Indian
Yeah.
that just constantly asks
Yep.
for whiskey nonstop.
That's a good movie.
I just love also the bridge over the river Kwai. That's the one. He's in that one, right?
No, I don't think he is. He's in The Longest Day.
As long as, yeah.
Patton.
He's not in
No,
Patton.
he's not in Patton.
He's
He's
not
in. Besides The Longest
In-
Day, there's another.
In Harm's Way, he's Pacific.
In Harm's Way,
Donovan's Wreath, where he plays, it's a veteran movie. One of my good favorite movies, too. What else is he? He's in one with Dean Martin, which is one of my, A Rio Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites, because Dean Martin is the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Of
the
course you
movie
would
I'm
like
thinking
that.
about? The John Wayne World War II movie where they're in the South Pacific.
In Harm's Way.
In Harm's Way.
Oh,
So
maybe that's the
he's
one.
also, he's a Marine. I got to think of the name of it. He's a Marine drill sergeant. He gets killed at the end. Give me a minute.
Operation Pacific.
Might be it. I can't remember. I don't
I'm
have
not
my-
sure.
I don't have my. I guess
Anyway.
I use my
I'm a
phone.
really big Western John Wayne fan. I wasn't a military John Wayne fan. I usually only watched all of John Wayne's Westerns.
You would like In Harm's Way, where he plays like a rear admiral.
Probably. I
He
probably
gets
would.
moved to the front line. It's pretty good.
One more piece of news that I have.
And then we're going to get into a new topic that Ted's really going to hate. We're
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Doctor Who for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
You're
Ted,
not
you're
gonna
not gonna
like
like that.
Doctor Who, Ted.
So the last little bit of information I have is incredible to me. So the Peacock streaming service, right, is now at 33 million registered users.
Really?
Is that possible?
In part,
I mean, just to watch The Office.
yeah, that's why. In part
And
because
it's free.
The Office. Well,
Right?
there's also paid
No,
versions
yeah,
of it.
But you
Yeah.
can the free version. There is a free ad supported version.
Yes, correct.
Right. So that's part of the reason it's free.
But The Office came to the lineup in January, and ever since The Office has been there. So before The Office was there was 16 million subscribers. Since January 1st, when The Office came onto Peacock, it has risen to 33.
Wow.
So it's gained over 17,000 or 17 million subscribers since The Office came to it, and I think that is staggering.
I think it's kind of interesting because I understand everybody watching The Office when it's on Netflix because you already got Netflix. It's an easy thing to watch in the background or to rewatch the series. Like a year ago, I rewatched the whole series.
Yeah,
Also, it's a great thing to just watch in the background if you're doing laundry or something like that.
it really is.
But I wouldn't think people would go out of their way to download another service just to watch that one show, which is crazy to me.
I didn't think so either.
Mandalorian.
But people,
Well,
That's
there's
true,
a lot
too,
of other
yeah.
content on Disney
I
Plus, too.
agree. Like WandaVision.
so it says on an earning conference call with investors in December, Comcast chairman and CEO Brian Roberts said The Office was driving incremental users to sign up. NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell said The Office is getting more viewership on Peacock than on its former home at Netflix. But they didn't release any numbers to support that. They're just claiming that there
I don't
is.
believe
I don't
that's
believe it
true.
at all.
What I think they're claiming that on, though, is the bonus content that they've put out along with just The Office episodes. So they have a ton of behind-the-scenes stuff. They have table reads. They have behind certain episodes. They've got a ton of stuff. They've got a docu-series that's coming about the entire show. I think it was released now, or either in the beginning of February or like second or third week of January. I haven't went and looked. But there's a whole, basically a documentary about the making of The Office and going back and like interviewing all of the actors and just reliving the experience basically. And I think they're taking all of that into consideration because just on Office episodes, I doubt that that's the case.
I gotta make a confession.
You've never seen it.
I've seen parts of it only on YouTube, the snippets. I've never sat down and watched it. I planned on it. I really did, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, gone. It's like,
Wow. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love The Office.
Oh yeah, it's a standard viewing.
Well,
It really is.
It's very, very funny.
Oh, I've watched a ton of it on YouTube.
It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've seen that many clips on YouTube by now, you got to go just watch the episodes so that you can finally understand the show.
I know, I need to.
And it's not that hard to watch. You know, you're talking about like 23-minute episodes.
Yeah.
You can chew through quite a few seasons real quick.
Yeah.
And there's 8 seasons total. Later on, you know, it kind of trails off a little bit just because some of the main characters start to leave, but it's still, I mean,
it's at its best when, I don't know. I would say, I mean, Steve Carell, you know, it's at its best when he's still on the show.
Yes.
But it's still good afterwards when you get Robert California.
Absolutely. All of those are good. It's like its own.
Will Ferrell has
its own thing, like its own part of The Office, right? Yeah. Like the story was all the way up until Steve left, and then all of a sudden it took its own, like a whole new tone.
Yeah,
and it's its own thing.
I just loved. Why can't I think of his name? The guy that played Robert California. He's one of my favorite actors.
I can't think of his name either because I can never think of
He's
anything.
Ultron.
He's on Blacklist.
Oh,
the main character on Blacklist.
Yeah, and Boston Legal. God
yeah,
damn it.
He's a great actor. Shit.
We'll think of it later. But that was my last bit of news, is that The Office is still killing it for viewership, and it is making everybody go to Peacock. They were claiming that their 3-year projection for Peacock was going to be 35 million subscribers. And since The Office came, now they have 33. No. So they need to get 2 million more subscribers within the next 2 years, and they will have hit their goal. So I think that's a success.
So what else have you guys been watching?
We're not on what we're watching yet.
Shit.
Whoa.
At the end of the show, dude.
Oh, it is? I guess I've been gone for a long time. 13 weeks.
Yeah, that is a long time. Look, James Spader.
Yeah, James Spader.
Why could I not have thought of that?
He was in Stargate. What else was he in?
So everybody talks
Boston
about him
Legal.
being such an incredible actor, but he's basically the exact same person in every single character.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not in Stargate.
I don't think he was in Stargate.
Yes, he's David. He was Daniel Jackson.
In Stargate?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know.
Movie.
Oh yeah, in the movie. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Wow.
Huh. I don't remember the movie. I just remember the series.
Yeah.
What an
watched it
obscure
live in-
pull.
I love that series.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nolan, of course, pulls it out. He's our fact checker, man.
Yeah.
If the comments weren't delayed, you would be a perfect fact checker.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the comments are significantly delayed. So
I know. I apologize for that. There's nothing
because
we can
Ted
do for
is
it. but-
just now saying Andy watches YouTube at work. He has nothing else to do.
Flying tiger,
That's
flying
true,
leathernecks.
and he has nothing to do but watch me. So that tells you how lazy you are, Ted.
Wait, he also said flying tigers and flying leathernecks.
I have not. I'm assuming those are John Wayne movies. I've not seen either one of
Yeah,
those.
neither have I, but I'm assuming that's what he's talking about as well, yeah.
So I'll check them out because I like old movies.
What else do you have to do?
Nothing. Just
Absolutely nothing.
build 4 different websites.
Yeah, build our website. That's the main concern that we have here. So that's it. That's all I got for the news. Christopher.
Awesome. Well, I think we just talked about, since me and you are both currently watching Doctor Who,
Yeah, we are.
I figured we'd combine what we're watching with a top 5 of our ranking of the Doctors so far.
I like that.
And then we can spend a little time just talking about Doctor Who and its impact.
Have you finished the 11th season?
Is that the last one?
No. Second to last.
I'm on the last episode.
Of the 11th?
Yeah.
Okay. I finished the 11th. I'm on to the 12th season. I believe the 13th has come out, but it's not available for us to view yet.
Oh, okay.
Besides on BBC, unless you had BBC. But I believe at least a few, if not all, of the episodes for the 13th season have been released now. But the only ones that I can watch are from the 12th season, which is from last year.
Okay.
And I haven't started that season yet. So that'll be interesting to see. I will say I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
Well, let's get into that. We can talk about the newest season first, or do you want to give a little backstory on Doctor Who for the people? There's a lot of people that don't follow the show. Maybe you've heard of it. They don't really understand it
Because it's pretty out there for...
I'm sorry if you think
Most
this is
main
boring
people.
when we speak about it, because it may sound boring, but just trust us, and we like when we say that you need.
Well, first of all, this show has been around since the early 60s.
Yes.
Yeah. So it has been on, it ran from like 1963 to 1989 in its original run. It's a British show. And then it was resurrected in 2005 by the BBC, and Russell T Davies, I think, was the original.
Yeah. And Stephen Moffat
came after that, and now they have a new showrunner. They have had 2 new showrunners since then.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly when I started getting into this show. It was, after it had aired.
That's a good question because I don't know. I don't know when you got into it. I just have always known you as someone who enjoyed the show, and you're the one who got me into it.
It wasn't that far before I got you into it because I was just finishing up, like watching it.
Yeah, you hadn't really finished it yet.
No. So I don't know what happened or how I got a hold of it. I'd always heard of it, and I remember seeing it, as I'm sure you remember, due to when you were a little kid, like on PBS.
Yeah,
it would be on
PBS.
But I never watched it, and it just always seemed
out there,
really low budget and weird.
Well, it was. That's where some of the characters. I used to love them. What's the little tin cans?
The Daleks.
The Daleks. Classic character, but at the time, that's all they had to work with.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't change the design.
No, they haven't changed a thing.
No, and that's what makes the new generation, I think you called it, so awesome because it plays tribute, and they're great characters. I mean, they haven't changed. They think of new scenarios for all these ancient characters. Yeah, and they're awesome.
So, I mean, if you're not familiar with it, it's real hardcore sci-fi. So, it's a sci-fi show. It is about a alien, a Time Lord, which is an alien who travels around the universe and throughout time in his time machine called the TARDIS with human companions. He's got a soft spot for human beings.
Yeah, he loves the humans.
And it's basically a week-to-week type show, although there are story arcs intermixed, but it's basically a monster of the week, kind of week-to-week show. A lot of sci-fi, so a lot of morality tales. And the Doctor is essentially an immortal being, and he regenerates when he dies, basically, and emerges as the same person but a new character.
Right.
And so that's what happens every 3 or 4. I mean, in the earlier days, they ran longer. In the newer iterations, they're running for like 3 or 4 seasons.
Right, 3 or 4 seasons. And so when they regenerate, they have the same mind. They have the same memory. They know of everything that's happened in the past. They just look different, basically. So they just take on
and have different personalities.
A different form and have a different personality, yes. And it's really fun. So at first, when I heard this and realized that this was going to be a part of the show, I hated it. I thought, this is going to be ridiculous. You're changing out the main character every few seasons, or in the beginning when it restarted again in 2005, it was only 1 season. You got 1 season with 1 Doctor, and then it changed to a new one. And I was like, how do you get a hold of this? Like, how am I supposed to ground myself in anything of this show?
But that's what hooked me. So I watched the first season of New Generation, and then the second season is what hooked me, because I wanted to see what the difference was in the Doctors and the characters. So I was hooked for the second season, and the third season, and then the fourth, and that's when I started getting out of it. I just lost interest in it.
Well, and that's what I came to realize, is that the writing is so strong and that character development is so good that it doesn't matter. I mean, the changing of the Doctor doesn't matter, except for, yes, their personalities change, so you do get a little bit different each time. And
if you've formed a connection with those characters, I mean,
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. When I went from the 10th Doctor to the 11th Doctor, I thought my world was over. And I was like, there's no way that we can get any better than this. And my life has ended. And now I will never watch this show again. And then I watched 2 episodes and I was like, who's the 10th Doctor? The 11th is my man, and it just kept going from there. And the stories are so fun. Like, it's so fun to see these wild, wacky type stories, and then all of a sudden they hit you right in the face with one that is like emotional and will connect with you in a way that you never thought you could be connected by an alien.
You have to like the wild and wacky and way out there. I mean, and appreciate it for what it is. These people are writing this content knowing that it's a little absurd, but it's
sometimes
awesome. And then when they hit you, when the doctor's companion is left behind or left in another dimension or left in another time, and you realize
or
that
killed outright.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit. And so it'd be like killing Baby Yoda to the Mandalorian, just right out whacking the, Baby Yoda with a spear in the head. You're like, holy shit. That's how good the writing is on all these seasons.
Yeah. So I think I know there's a lot of people that wouldn't be necessarily into it, but I think there's a little bit of something for everybody in this show because, like I said, it is essentially a week-to-week show. So, I mean, for the most part, every week is a different story. And it's a little bit of a procedural in that way. But sometimes it'll be set on Earth, and sometimes it'll be set in the past on Earth with historic figures. Sometimes it'll be set in the future on different planets. Sometimes it'll be set. So every week is something a little different. A lot of times they lean towards horror.
Sometimes
they lean towards horror or mystery. Or
a lot of mystery.
Funny, comedy. So it's all over the place. So I don't know. It's just a show that I really connected to. And when me and Jerry first actually started hanging out, we talked about it, and that's when you got into it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it was a Super Bowl Sunday back in like 2000,
maybe 11,
11 or 12. It was either right before Grady was born or right after Grady was
born. Were we
born.
at the Kinsellas?
No,
we were in the shop.
The shop?
Yeah.
His dad's shop for a Super Bowl party.
So anyway, and we both kind of fell off of it, after Matt Smith.
Yeah.
And I've since watched all of it, and now I'm catching up to the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
so,
as am I.
Ted says, you guys watch way too much TV.
We do. I mean, this is what we do.
We watch a lot of TV.
You can't have an entertainment podcast about pop culture stuff without watching a lot of TV and movies.
Ted, you smoke too many cigarettes, so.
Ian Hicks also said, I'm in, boys.
Hey, Ian.
He's either in for Doctor Who or he's just into the show.
I think he's just into the pod. He just got into the podcast.
I think he's also in for Doctor Who. Good for you.
He's probably in for a tattoo.
So anyway, before we get into our top 5, I think we could talk Ian into a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Hell, 6 beers, you talked me into one. Shit,
he's so impressionable.
I'm an easy date.
Before we get into our top 5, you want to talk about the newest iteration of the Doctor, our most recent watching of it?
Yeah, I think we can. So the 11th season started off with something different than has ever been for Doctor Who, and that is a female Doctor.
Yeah.
Jodie Whittaker is the name of the character or the person who plays the Doctor, and it changed into a woman. It had never happened before. It's the first woman Doctor, and I didn't know how it was going to be.
There was a lot of backlash initially.
Yeah, just because it was different. Obviously, the Doctor was never a female, and people thought it was going to be an issue. From the very first episode, I was like, "There's no difference at all for me."
No, I think she's an incredible actress.
I love her as a Doctor.
I like her as a Doctor. I like her as an actor. Like her facial expressions and how she does her dialogue.
Very animated.
Very animated. Very good. I'm not crazy about how, I don't know. There's something that seems to be, I don't remember the sonic screwdriver being quite as powerful as it seems to be in these new seasons.
Really? I wouldn't necessarily say it's as powerful, but I think she's using it differently.
And using it a lot.
Yes, and much different than the other Doctors would. The other Doctors used it as like an analyzing tool or to unlock locks or things like that, right? She's using it just a little bit more different, and she's very against violence.
Yeah, which is definitely different than some of the earlier iterations.
Much, I would say, just
so
because
they're leaning very heavy on that, which is
not the Doctor, it's the writers. It's like they're just changing the way that doctor portrays things, which is what they've done. Yes.
Ultimately, it's been no issue, and I'm enjoying watching her act and be the doctor. I'm also like, there was a lot of heat taken on the story aspect of it, but I think the stories have been really great.
I haven't had an issue with any of them. I mean, they're the only issue I've had, I guess, and it's a non-issue, is that throughout the 11th season so far, there hasn't been that one episode that caught me. Like, I like an emotional episode. I like an episode that draws on what the doctor's emotions are, like how much weight is on this Time Lord. Like, the Time Lords have been around and for so long. He's the only one, or she is the only one left. And there's just been so much in their life that they've had to deal with. And you usually get this one episode where it all bears down on them. It all comes down to their decision, and it's like so much for them to take. And it's a very emotional, heavy episode that ends up being great. And then you get this lighthearted doctor at the end that cracks a joke and it goes on its merry way, right? We haven't had that.
No.
I haven't felt that yet in that season. It hasn't taken anything away from it. I think the 11th season is very good, and I've enjoyed it. It was like picking up where I left off, and
also a very heavy lean
fun.
Into I wouldn't necessarily call it horror, but a real darker tone as far as the situations they're getting themselves into. I feel like there's a lot of more creepiness surrounding the episodes. For sure. When I think about the one where they go through the mirror,
that one's crazy. Yeah. That little goblin guy that is obviously tricking him and then gets eaten by moths.
Yeah. That episode was awesome. And then also when they went with King James and the witch trials.
Yes. Oh, I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, I've liked a lot of them. And that production value is incredible.
Absolutely. It's like, I mean, besides some parts, it is basically movie quality, or basically any TV show you're ever going to see. It's very, very as of that high quality. Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm really, really enjoying pretty much all the new companions. I really like Graham.
The old man? Yeah, absolutely.
He's the best actor on the show. And he puts a lot of nuance into the role. And that's your real, probably biggest emotional connection. But I really like Yaz, too. And I love that episode when they go back to her grandma in like 1950s Pakistan.
Yes.
That's a great episode.
That's an awesome... When she's getting married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not as big of a fan of Ryan. He's fine. But I really like Graham.
There hasn't been much for him to work with as of yet. I don't feel like in the entire season. He started
out kind of angsty, and that was annoying because I hate angsty teenage characters.
I hate teenage angst.
But
I love Cobra Kai, but I hate teenage angst. Meh.
Damn, Mighty Ducks is gonna suck. Now there's kids in it.
Yeah, I don't like children.
Well, he's 19, so.
Damn millennials.
But no, I'm really enjoying it. I held off watching it for so long because I was just convinced by all the hype that I wouldn't like it. And that's wrong.
So I have a different take on that. I think I'll expand on it when we start talking about the doctors. But
okay, we can do that. So have you started the 12th season then?
I have not. I finished the 11th season. I've got to start the first episode of the 12th. I haven't done it yet though.
Okay.
So that's coming up. I mean, probably tomorrow I will start that and continue the journey because it's
easy to watch. Not a lot of episodes per season.
No, there was 8.
Well, all of them because the BBC
10.
does short run seasons. Yeah. So.
The big thing with the BBC is it's easy to catch up on them because even if they do a 10 episode season, they have a huge break in the middle of them.
Yeah.
Normally around Christmas time, they'll do 5 episodes in the fall. They have like a 4-month break, and then they pick back up in like May.
Yeah.
And do the rest of them, or like April, something like that. And they've done it for every season, and I've hated it so much.
Oh, it's impossible to watch the show live. Because you never know when it's going to be on. It just randomly appears.
Right. And so that was part of the reason why I kind of got out of it is because I did catch up with it. I had BBC or BBC America on Comcast at the time, and then DirecTV or Dish Network, one of the two. And I was recording it. And so every once in a while I'd get a recording and then I wouldn't for like a month and then it would record again. and I'd have a couple episodes I'd watch, and it was just like hit or miss, and I kind of fell out of it because I was like, I'm sick of recording this and trying to find things. It ended up recording like random episodes. I was like, this is so dumb. I don't know when it's going to play, and I don't want to deal with this anymore.
It's way better show to binge. It's a binging show.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
A binging show. But guess what, guys? It's all available there in
On
HBO Max.
Yeah.
I remember before the days of TiVo and DVRs, before you had to sit. I used to look forward to watching it. You know, I think it came out on Fridays, if I remember right. I'm like, oh yeah, before I got
Fridays
home.
or Saturdays.
Something
like that.
I'm like, oh, I can't wait to watch Doctor Who, you know. And then it was Farscape came out on Tuesdays on the Sci-Fi Network.
Fuck, loves Farscape.
I know. I
Still one of my favorite
yeah.
shows.
We can talk about that some later on.
You need to watch that.
I know you've told me about it before, and I've never
And
seen
you
it.
gave me shit for not seeing The Office, and you haven't seen Farscape?
Well, I mean, how old was I when I came out?
It's a similar
12.
thing to Doctor Who too, very
okay.
much. Where you got to get over the goofy rubber masks. That's part of the show, you know.
Yeah.
And Farscape, they're puppets. You know, Jim Henson.
Oh, it's a Jim Henson thing, right?
Well,
Jim
there's
Henson's creatures.
Human beings in it, but there's puppets are the aliens, and they were all made in Jim Henson's character.
You know,
creation shop.
that's on Netflix, and I think that may be my next binge.
Yeah, and it's 12
It's
seasons.
on. It's on Netflix.
I think.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it just came.
Oh, I'll have to
that
check
or
it out.
Amazon Prime, one of the two.
I'll definitely have to check some of that out.
Oh man, you'll love it.
So, where are we at time wise? Oh, we got plenty of time.
We can do our top 5 doctors if you want to get into that. Unless you got more you want to talk about.
Clicked on a button and it's loading a page that I didn't want to load. That's annoying.
All right. Well, we'll do our top 5. I'm assuming you're bowing out.
I'm gonna bow on this. I'm not up to date. I can't.
That's fine. We're gonna continue on strong without you while you watch us.
I'm gonna drink beer and watch you too,
And comment as we go.
as usual.
So you can start, Chris. What is your number 5 doctor on Doctor Who?
Yeah. So, like I said, it was pretty difficult ranking. It was easy to pick the top 2, but hard to rank put them where they needed to go. And then it was difficult to rank the bottom 3 for me because first of all, I like all of them.
Yes.
I have literally no issue with any of the doctors since the new iteration. But I'm going to go with my number 5 is going to be Christopher Eccleston from the first season, 2005. He only had one season as the doctor with Rose as his companion. We can also talk about companions a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about
I don't have them
companions.
ranked, but
There's always. Never mind.
I've always tell people, I'm like, watch Doctor Who, but I always debate whether or not to tell them to skip the first season because it's not great.
It's not.
The production value is terrible. The acting is goofy. But despite that, if you get into it more, but there's some story that carries over to the second and third season that you kind of need to see.
Yep.
Yes, you absolutely do. There is story between the first and second season that you need in order to understand Rose.
Correct.
The companion. Like Rose is a main character going forward.
Yeah.
And
Well, she makes the first 3 seasons. That's why I got hooked, I think.
yeah.
So anyway, but I did enjoy him as a doctor. He had a very intensity to him. He was kind of like a soldier doctor, basically.
Yes. So there is
Very serious.
there's a tie in with his doctor and the war doctor. Do you remember the war doctor?
I do, yeah. Only from one episode.
One episode, but he was a longer doctor than people know. Like he wasn't in the show, but it was an actual Time Lord, of the Doctor that ties into their life.
That's in Capaldi's run, right?
Yes, and I'll get into that a little bit
Okay.
later.
That's my number 5.
My number 5 is Peter Capaldi.
Really?
It is
No love for Capaldi, huh?
not much.
Really?
This is where I fell out of Doctor Who, and again, like it was because of like the whole. I caught up to the series. It was very sporadic when it was coming out.
It was at that time during Capaldi's run. It made no sense when it would come out. It would be on for one season in the fall, like 5 episodes, and then it would be like a year and a half.
was legitimately a year and a half in between seasons, and I got so mad because of that. But also, this is the one Doctor I could not relate with in any way. I was excited when I saw him in the first couple episodes. I was like, man, I don't know. I think I could kind of get into this. And every episode after that, it was just like less and less and less. I could relate to him. It didn't seem like the same Doctor to me as what it was before. And I understand that they have different personality traits, but I didn't feel like he was even pulling from the same memories as what the Doctor had in the past, or held himself the same way the Doctor had in the past. It was off for me for some reason. I mean, a lot of people enjoy him, and obviously you have him ranked higher than I do, but I don't know. It wasn't my Doctor in the last 5, and I got to put him as the 5th because there was just nothing to relate. I didn't even honestly go back and watch his seasons. So I watched the first season that he was in, but I never watched another one after that.
And there was 2 more.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do my number 4. My number 4 is the current iteration, Jodie Whittaker. And we'll see. There's 2 more. There's another season I haven't gotten to yet. I enjoy her a lot as an actress, and I think she's doing a lot of interesting things. But the one criticism I have is there is basically no real emotional connection. She's just like there.
Yep.
Like filling a place and moving the story forward, but with no history, with no gravity.
Yeah.
So far.
I completely agree.
And so that has been problematic. I mean, it's made up for it because I think the episodes themselves have been really fun and interesting, and the plots, the plotting. So it's not been a big issue, but it's taken the show from one where there's a continuing narrative to one where it's literally a week-to-week Monster of the Week show.
That's what it is now.
And that's fine, and I'm still enjoying that. But it's not my favorite thing.
I completely agree. My number 4 is also Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor. So Peter Capaldi was the 12th. Jodie Whittaker is the 13th. And I agree. I think it's just too soon to give any big judgment on. But she has had a whole season to pull us in. And I don't think it's any of her fault. She acts very well. She's an incredible actress. But they just haven't given her much to do. Yeah. And that's strange for a Doctor Who show because...
And there's also very little nuance to the character.
Yeah, it's the same as what I was talking about with Peter Capaldi, is that I don't feel like it's drawing from the same Doctor. It doesn't feel the same Doctor-ish to me because normally there's some sort of tie-in to the one before you, right? There's some sort of story or feeling that they have, like strange feeling that they talk about that ties them into a previous episode or a previous Doctor's experience, and you don't have that. And then since it's so surface level with her character, it has turned it into what you said, a Monster of the Week. It's a person that leads a crew of people that don't have a connection with the audience as of yet.
Yeah, essentially all the emotional resonance has been put onto the Graham character.
On the companions. Yeah, it's moved from the Doctor to the companions when it should be to the Doctor to the companions. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, you should have the emotional tie-in to the Doctor because of his emotional tie-in with all of the companions, right? That's how it's been ever since. And you can change that, but they just haven't done it in a way yet that has drawn me in. Now, will that make me not watch the next season? Absolutely not. I'm going to, like I said, as soon as I can, watch the 12th season. I believe she's doing the 13th soon. If it hasn't already dropped, I think that's her last one because I did read a report that she was out. She's done.
Yeah. So that's my number 4. And your number 4.
And my number 4.
So my number 3 is Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi has moved it up all the way to number 3. And I would love to know why.
I'm a little surprised at your take, to be honest. Now, I'm willing to admit that some of the actual episodes during his run were a little slower.
Lacking
a little bit. And that was a different writer, right? And so was the new seasons. They're completely different writers.
So I think this is where a big problem. I think I had a big problem when Stephen Moffat left the show, and I knew he left the show. I wish I didn't. I wish it was like a situation where I had no idea, because I was so into this show that I followed like what Stephen Moffat was doing, because he was creating this show and doing all of it. With him, and like Russell T Davies had left earlier, but still Stephen Moffat had taken over and done things on his own, and it still felt like the same show. When I found out that he left and then the new show started, I think I had I put something on that character and that season and that actor that I shouldn't have, but
okay.
I don't know.
Well, I will say I enjoyed him very much as the Doctor, and I will tell you why. First off, the attitude very much of him was like battle scarred, right? He was like battle scarred, been through it all, like angry, depressed, not. He still was at times like joyful and fun loving, but for the most part, it was a much more serious take than we had seen in any incarnation.
And this is where I felt like I would enjoy that. I always usually enjoy that type of character.
He had a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
From just a lifetime of terrible things happening to him. And I just liked that take. And I thought, I think Peter Capaldi as an actor is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a true classic.
He's a theater actor.
So I really enjoyed the season. What lacked in those was the companions, I think.
Yeah, big time.
So, I liked it. I liked those quite a bit more than you. I didn't watch them originally. I went back and watched all the Capaldi seasons, and you should give them another shot, because you haven't seen them all, so I think there's some more in there, especially more later on.
Okay. There's two seasons I haven't ever watched, so I guess I should go back and watch them.
I think when I say I had problems with the writing, that's not 100% true. The writing was very good, and they did a very good job at like drawing continuous story arcs. Mm-hmm. It's just sometimes when you do that, things drag on. Yeah. So anyway, that's my number 3. Yours is Christopher Eccleston.
Yes, my number 3 is Christopher Eccleston. So I felt the same way about him that you feel about Peter Capaldi, is like this heavy war-torn doctor that
tired.
Yes, like this tired guy that didn't want to put up with your crap. It's like, I've seen so much stuff, and this is where I was talking about like the war doctor, because they have similar traits, and he's very serious at times. Now, what is lacking in that show is the show itself. Like, the production is not good. They didn't have any money to produce this, but I think he did such a good job with the Doctor that
I think there's actually a part in that show where he's like amazed that his companions are able to accomplish something without like murdering hundreds of people.
Yes.
And he's like, I guess if you want to do that without killing all these people, but I would kill them.
Yes. He talks about that, and he's very,
I remember that.
He's very intense.
And
he's
all the doctors, by the way, very comfortable with killing, other than the new doctor.
Right. Yeah. The newest doctor will
for
not.
For some reason now.
Well, they're always like, well, if we kill 1 million, we'll save 10 billion. Numbers add up.
Yeah.
So.
But the new doctor is like, no.
Very anti-gun.
Yeah, it's a very become kind of a political show in a lot of ways.
It did. I wasn't even going to touch on that, but it 100% did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I like Christopher Eccleston, because I think that's what he did, was bring that heavy war-torn doctor up front right off the bat, and that's what drew me in. I believe that's what drew me into the show. I agree that Peter Capaldi was that way. I don't know. I was thrown off by him a little bit, so I like Christopher Eccleston better.
There you go. Nolan said his best doctor by far was Bob Hoskins in Doctor Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's a pretty good one. Bob Hoskins was going to be Wolverine.
I love that dude.
Yeah.
My number 2 is
R.I.P.
Matt Smith.
Your number 2 is Matt Smith.
I'm not surprised by that, and I'm guessing.
I don't know. I don't think Jerry's going to agree with me. My number 2 is Matt Smith, just because, first of all, I love, and I felt the same way as you when he started. When that season started,
yeah,
I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah,
I don't want any part of it.
I got mad at the show.
That's when I quit watching.
But you just doesn't take very long, a couple episodes, and you're totally in. And it starts out, it's 100% because he's got the best companions.
Oh, by far.
Amy Pond and Rory. And
I forgot about
Karen
Amy.
Gillan. That was her big start.
If we're talking about, if we were ranking companions, 100% those two. Karen Gillan and Amy Pond and Rory. I connected so much to Amy Pond and Rory.
Oh, absolutely.
Just as much as I ever did with the Doctor. And those two people will continue on in my Doctor Who love forever.
I think, honestly, some of the best story came from those years.
For sure.
But
because of the dynamic between Amy Pond and Rory.
And River Song.
And the Doctor. Yes, absolutely.
So it's great. And the story is that's Stephen Moffat. The story is completely on point. Again, the center stage kind of on Karen Gillan. Karen Gillan. But Matt Smith is an amazing Doctor himself. He has a real childish wonder about him. He's very he plays it goofy, but he also, and like a child, like he can't control his emotions. He can't control his anger. He can't control, he is very flippant about things, but he's also very goofy at times.
And that is very true. And they put it kind of on Front Street to tell you that he's kind of childish because of his whole, there's that whole story of him being a kid. And the fish fingers and custard.
Yeah.
Where he's eating that. And that's like a story that goes throughout the seasons because he talks about it multiple times. And I don't know, it's very childlike.
A very full of wonder, too.
Mm-hmm.
But he...
relatively optimistic all the time, which I liked.
Yeah, but not shy of making grandiose speeches and just shouting at, getting in shouting matches.
Yes.
It's a very, very fun show those years. And you have to watch everything before
you do
to understand where it ends up there. Cause there's and he is a phenomenal actor too. Mm-hmm. I can't understand where this guy's gone afterwards because he's that show made him a huge celebrity. That's when the show really took off. So I tell people
he's
this
been
all
on
the
the
time.
Queen, so the
Crown,
the Crown.
Oh, really?
A lot as Prince Andrew, right?
No,
or
Prince? It's not Edward.
No,
the Queen's,
Andrew.
The Queen's husband. I can't.
Prince Andrew.
Well, anyway, this is when the show really blew up, right?
Yeah.
And came to the United States in a big way.
Yep.
Because of the goodwill from David Tennant's years, but that's built it up.
It mainstreamed it.
They relaunched the show with a whole higher production budget beyond big time money.
Yes.
And with a very Americanized bent to it.
Yeah.
And it blew up in the United States, and that was directly during his run. Mm-hmm. And that's why he is, out of all the Doctor Who people, well, there's been a lot that have become very famous.
Yeah.
So I guess he's not a household name.
To be honest, I think Karen Gillan's been the most famous out of all of them.
She's the most famous.
Yes.
I mean, it's not even.
Isn't that? It's
she's
crazy.
a huge movie star, but David Tennant's also a huge movie star.
He is.
So.
Yeah, well, while you're talking about him.
Well, he's got to do his number 2.
Oh.
So my number 2 is Matt Smith.
I knew that.
I knew it, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Smith
There's
is...
only one Doctor.
It's so close, though. To be honest...
very, 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 very
it is
very
by close. Just like an eyelash that I put...
coin.
Yes, absolutely. I can pick episodes in Matt Smith's run, multiple episodes, probably more episodes in Matt Smith's run, that I prefer his Doctor over David Tennant's Doctor, right? But
absolutely.
Overall, I don't know. He has to be the second because I feel like David Tennant's Doctor, the 10th Doctor, is the one that really burned itself into my heart.
Same here.
Part
You know
of
what I
that's
mean?
nostalgia related,
Well,
but
It is, but even so, like all through the years, I've always said, like, after David Tennant died or transitioned, changed into Matt Smith, and I was so angry about it and didn't want to watch anymore. It took some time for me to get used to Matt Smith. I didn't have that with David Tennant. It went from Christopher Eccleston to David Tennant so fast that it was like that's who you grew up with then, right?
But the thing about Matt Smith, I mean, again, we can't take anything away from Karen Gillan, from Amy Pond and Rory. I mean, they were a huge part of what made that some of the best episodes.
Yes, I completely agree. You're right.
Him waiting through the Roman Empire for thousands of years.
I know.
Waiting for her. I mean, come on.
Yeah. There are so many good episodes.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith is phenomenal. I mean, we've talked about him a lot. Let's get on to David Tennant because
we can all do our number one. David Tennant.
David Tennant, the 10th Doctor.
He is the Doctor.
The one that really brought everything back and made this show a hit.
He cemented the franchise.
By far. I mean, and he reintroduced it.
Absolutely.
And as far as acting performances, I mean, he is by far the best, most animated.
He can chew up some scenery.
Yeah,
man.
most incredible actor that's played it. It blows other one out of the water.
When he's in the frame
in
and
anything
acting,
that he's in, first off, anything.
Right? Yeah, you're exactly right. But when he's in the frame and he's acting, everybody's looking at him because he's just chewing it up. He's making everything his scene, right? Even when he's acting with other people that are of his caliber, it's just he's got that weight to him. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But him as a doctor, for me, there is one episode, and I've talked about it multiple times, but it's called Silence in the Library. And I can remember it like every part of this episode, but it's literally the silence, like there's the shadow.
Wait a second. River Song was from David Tennant's years, not from Matt Smith.
Oh, she came back.
Oh, she did come back, but her main storyline was with David Tennant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she did come back in the later years. I thought that's just what you were talking about.
No.
So, Silence in the Library, it's a big, long story. I'm not going to go through the whole episode, but it was so touching. It's about this young girl who's basically trapped. I don't know. It's an incredible episode. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen writing like this before. It's probably my most favorite episode of anything I've ever seen because of everything the doctor has to do and everything this young child is dealing with and is trapped in. Like she's literally trapped, kind of being evil, but she doesn't know any other way to be. And it's kind of trying to like protect herself. It's just an incredible, incredible episode. And it was actually a 2-parter. So there's 2 episodes to it, but so it's 2 hours. It's basically a movie in and of itself. Everything from that, just there's so much weight to it. And this is what I love about the Doctor is where you get these big emotional arcs.
Especially
that
with
tie you to
David
him.
Tennant. I mean, he was the master of that.
Yes.
Because he was by far the most emotional Doctor.
Burdened.
Yeah. Burdened. Hurt.
Yeah. This is where the transition comes from, like war-torn and pissed off and I'm not dealing with this, to all of a sudden you get David Tennant where it was like just this big weight and burden on his shoulder about all the other Time Lords being dead. He has to continue on and do all these things. He loves the human race and just feels like he needs to protect them, but they keep dying and he loses
But he literally wants... I remember this episode with him where he becomes human.
Yeah.
And he's just like, at the end, he just chews up the scenery with this monologue. He's like, I don't want to go back. Like, he falls in love and he's going to get married. He's like, I don't want to go back. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what I want. I want to be human. And
right.
Incredible episode.
They touch in that episode the disadvantages of living forever. Of immortality, where you see all your friends and family die, and he's seen it for millennia,
over and over,
and he's ready to die.
And then the whole "Don't Blink" episode,
Blink
or just Blink,
yeah, that's widely considered the best episode of Doctor Who of all time.
My gosh,
there's other ones I like more, but it is a great one. It's very horror themed.
It is,
it's got
but
they're the Weeping Angels, right?
yes, but his acting in that,
It's an incredible episode.
and the amount of like the dialogue that he has in that show, just
And
of him speaking is,
and the stakes and the suspense with it, and it. I've heard a lot of people say skip the first season, start with Blink,
you could.
but I wouldn't.
I personally wouldn't, but you could start at the beginning of David Tennant's run, like the second season.
You could, but then you'd lose out on the whole Rose storyline.
Yeah, and so that's
And I
another
agree.
thing.
I agree. But
Rose is one of my favorite companions. She's obviously
Billy English.
Billy
Yeah.
Piper, isn't it?
Billy Piper. Yeah.
Piper.
Yeah. You're thinking of Billie Eilish.
Yeah, the singer, the teenage singer.
She is great, and there's kind of like a relationship. I mean, in a way, I think the Doctor's they're kind of in love with each other.
Yeah.
And
Well, I know in my opinion is that he was, because at the end of that run, when happens to Rose is, I'm not going to put spoilers.
Don't,
out there.
yeah.
I won't. But it makes David Tennant the Doctor for me.
Yeah.
His
I mean, the
acting
end.
skills.
Jerry talks about the end of that run constantly.
All the time. I can't handle it. It physically makes me just as emotional as I got with Luke Skywalker coming back. And I was like, man, a grown man getting emotional about a show. Well, I completely forgot about how I did that with David Tennant transitioning to a new Doctor. The end of his run, gosh, it does it for me. I mean, that's the best of TV. The best of shows. It's just unbelievable. And the way that you can get so attached to a character within a show when they're changing to different people is incredible to me that you can do that, And David Tennant had this way about him to make you absolutely love him. And what I do also love that they've never done before is that like love story between the Doctor and a companion. They really don't do that after that point.
No, that's the thing about that Doctor. He's very emotional. He loves, know, and like Matt Smith doesn't really understand love.
No, he doesn't.
Emotion, like that's his thing. He's like an outsider looking in.
Yeah.
And David Tennant's on the inside, or he so desperately wants to have these things.
Yeah. And I feel the same way. Like I love everyone. I'm just a lovable guy.
I mean,
You are a lovable
if it wasn't
guy.
for Amy Pond and Rory, Rose would be my number one companion. She's probably my number 2.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a tight run right there too.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pull on the nostalgia part and say Rose is the epitome of what a companion should be. And then you could go back and say like,
Several other companions too that were all
Amy
great.
Pond and Rory like paved a new way
Several other companions
for
with
companions.
The 10th Doctor, David Tennant, Catherine Tate, who's gone on to be a huge star. She was in The
She
Office.
was really fun too.
Oh, yeah.
and that she was in The Office, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then also, what's her name? Martha Jones.
Oh yeah, Martha Jones.
Yeah, she was great too. I mean, they were all great.
Wow, I forgot about her. She was only in one season.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very good. But David Tennant, by far, obviously between the two of us, is the number one Doctor of all time, and therefore you need to start in the beginning and watch it all.
Get HBO Max, start watching Doctor Who. It makes it very easy.
I may have to go back and revisit that and pick up where I left off.
You need to
You
pick up the
have
Matt
to
Smith
watch Matt
stuff.
Smith era.
Incredible.
I mean,
I'll probably go back and watch it all just so to remind myself how much I love
I-
David Tennant.
And Matt Smith was the longest running Doctor.
he was.
He was
Of
3
the new
seasons?
generation.
5 seasons, maybe.
5 seasons because he was very beloved.
Yeah, he was.
Because Al's the one that got me turned on to it. My
Really?
older brother. Yeah, he's huge in Doctor
A
Who.
Whovian.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's like, you gotta watch this.
So, if you were gonna shout out some of your favorite companions, who would you shout out, given what you know now?
I mean, we've said the top three by far. I'm going to have to look up all their
I
names.
think Graham is going to be in the running in the new season. I think Graham is going to be. So I'll give you the names. This is the top 10 according to somebody else. They have number 10 at Clara Oswalt. She was in Capaldi's run. I did like her a lot.
Oh, Clara. Yeah, I liked Clara a lot too when she first came about. And
There was some certain
didn't they
things-
talk about her as the Oracle or?
Yeah, there were some certain things later on I wasn't crazy about her, but
But to begin with, she played two characters within
She played two characters, yeah.
a couple episodes where she was the Oracle or something like that in an episode.
I can't remember.
And then it ended up being her like later on, and then they tied it all together. I can't remember how it all played
Very
out.
fast talking. They call her the Gilmore Girls companion.
She was fast talking. I did like her. I did like her a lot. I liked Martha a lot.
Nardole. I don't even barely remember that, but he was a guy. He was in Capaldi's run. I am a fan of Yaz Khan in the new season. I like her a lot.
She's very good, yes.
Bill Potts from Matt Smith's run. I don't really remember her that much.
I'm trying to look it up. I don't.
Or no,
see
Capaldi's run. I'm sorry.
What ranking list are
A
you
working
on?
class black gay woman. I don't remember her.
Bill Potts?
What season did they bring them all together? Because I remember watching that episode where they had Tennant, Smith, Capaldi, and the first Doctor with the.
Yeah, they did that in Capaldi's run. I don't know if
Is
they
that
were
what it
all
was?
in there, but
They
yeah,
were all there.
I remember that.
I watched that episode. I remember watching it just because Tennant was back as a Doctor.
Number 5, they got Graham, actually at number 5.
They have Ryan Sinclair as number 6.
Martha at number 4. They got Donna at 3. Rose at
Martha
2.
was very good. I liked
Martha was
Martha a
good,
lot.
yeah.
I liked her a lot because you were leaving. Weren't you leaving Amy Pond and Rory, and then you came into Martha?
Yes.
And I didn't think it was, again, that was another situation where you're losing two people that were such like a mainstay in this show that I felt were going to change the show for worse. And then you end up getting Martha, and she's such a great character.
Yeah.
She's super strong and opinionated and like did her own thing. I liked her a lot.
Just keep bringing them in here, dude.
Donna Noble is number 3. She was very good. She was more of a like comic relief.
Comic relief, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really all we got for Doctor Who. We don't have a lot of time left. Do we want to do some what we're watching? I know Dude does.
Wait, for this list though, they do have Rose as second and Amy and Rory as first.
Yeah.
And I think I would do the same.
Yes, I would.
But gosh, it hurts me. Can I have like a 1 and a 1.5?
Yeah, yeah. And
Sure, Jay.
I'll be honest. I'm really, really, really liking Graham as a companion.
Oh yeah,
and he's
absolutely.
gonna be up there on my list.
He'd be, if I have a 1 and a 1.5, he'd be 2, but
that mirror episode.
he'd be 3.
That mirror episode when he gets to see his wife
I know.
and he can't. It's. I've never really
Wants to stay.
It would be really easy to play it off as like being emotional or just like I want to stay here, but he plays it off in a weird way of just like being completely lost in it. He's just like staring, and he just can't
handle it. That
do
are
anything.
you really there? And he's like, I saw
But at
you
the
fall.
end, when he's got to leave, he's just like paralyzed.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting way to play that. And that was a character decision by the actor.
Absolutely. And think about that in a real-time mindset where most people aren't going to be like this big drawn-out monologue where like, I can't leave. I want to stay with
That's
you.
how
I
most
need to
people
do
would play
this.
it,
And I
right?
want to do, and have this big dialogue speech. Most people would just be like, no. Like looking back and forth. Like,
It's just so...
no, I want to be here.
Like the look on his face, too. It's just like a level of hurt that you can just recognize,
that I didn't feel you got from the original episode where she ends up dying.
Absolutely. They just brushed it off.
It was brushed off, and I didn't like that. And I was like, what the heck? This dude's wife just dies. This guy's mom is dead. This is your stepdad. He's white. You're black. Like, obviously, he's not your dad. That's what I'm like. And nobody has like an emotional breakdown over this.
Grandma, not mom. Grandma.
Or grandma. That's right. Sorry. I just thought it was ridiculous that nobody really had any sort of emotional breakdown over this, and they didn't play it up as that. It was just like she fell off a crane. Not a big deal.
Man, that episode was so crazy.
Oh, it was really crazy.
And now you got me really wanting to go back.
It's set
and watch
in
it.
Norway, okay?
Yeah.
And they come across this house that's all boarded up. And I won't spoil anything, but they come across this house that's completely boarded up. And, they finally get inside, and they find this little girl there, who's a blind girl, and the actress is actually blind.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can tell. And she's Norwegian or whatever, and she's like, "There's this monster out in the woods. You can hear it, you know." And she's like, "We gotta lock down. This monster's coming. You can hear it." And so they get locked down. Well, later in the episode, the girl is really good. Mm-hmm. And later in the episode, they find this mirror in the house, and they find out that it's a portal, and they can walk through it, and it takes them into
The doctor does.
basically like a hellscape. Graham finds it actually.
He does, and then the doctor like sticks her face and everything in it and realizes what it is. But it's a point between. It's like purgatory almost.
It's like when the fabric of time and space tears, it creates this like nether zone.
Yeah.
Which is basically like hell.
Yes.
World between worlds.
Yeah.
Kind of,
yeah. I think they say that.
And so this girl, her dad has gone, and she thinks he's been killed by this monster. And so she's just at home alone.
The blind girl's just in home alone by herself. The whole house is boarded up, and she thinks she just has to stay in there to be safe from the monster outside.
So they go through this portal, and I mean, I'm not going to give away too much. Basically, they emerge coming out of the other side of the world between worlds, out the portal onto the other side. And it's something completely different over there that is, I mean, incredible writing-wise, really.
Yes.
The other side, I can say it because I don't think it's a huge spoiler.
No, I mean, you might as well just say the whole thing.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Okay, fine. The other side of this portal, they walk out, it's the same house, not boarded up, everything's chipper, and this girl's dad is there. And they're like, what are you doing here? And then his dead wife walks into the room. He's like, I found this mirror, and I can go through here, and I'll come through the other side. My wife's alive over here. So he's just been leaving and telling his daughter that he's going to work, and he's been going over there and spending time with his dead wife in this other alternate universe.
And what's keeping her in the house is a set of speakers that he put out in the woods. He put these speakers out in the woods to make these growling, like animal monster noises.
Oh, I gotta watch this episode.
To make
That's a huge spoiler. You shouldn't have said that. But
what's the difference? I mean, by the time you get to it,
you think that's good enough, and then you find out that what is on the other side is basically an entire universe, but the universe itself is a sentient species.
Yeah.
That existed before the formation of our universe. And so
it gets deep, man.
And so this sentient universe that lives over there wants so badly to be part of our universe because it wants to have companionship. It's alone. And so it creates this whole false reality by these people that are not, they're dead. I mean, they're not real. The guy's wife is not real.
Right.
But it's creating that because it's trying to lure human beings over to their universe just so it can have somebody live within its universe because it's a sentient being.
Wow.
And it gets even crazier after that.
I gotta watch this season.
It felt very much like Doom Patrol. That episode.
That episode did. I was going to say, like, the whole thing doesn't, but that episode does.
So that was some spoilers. There's a lot of other great episodes going on. We have very little time left. Do you want to do some what we're watching?
Yeah, we could do, let's see. Yeah, we could do a couple.
Or do you want to do anything? Do you have anything to what you're watching?
I finished The Mandalorian, as you guys did. I haven't been on since, but
I
did get emotional when Luke Skywalker reappeared. As soon as I saw the X-Wing, I hoped. And then when I saw the black cloak figure, I'm like, it's got to be him.
It didn't dawn on me until all of a sudden I saw the lightsaber come out, and then in the hand that the lightsaber came out, he had a black glove on, and I was like, oh, wait a minute.
I figured it as soon as the X-Wing pulled up.
As soon as the X-Wing,
I didn't.
I'm like, it's
well, you guys are smarter than me. Okay.
Well, we know, Jack.
I said it. Fine.
But, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Finished Last Kingdom.
Oh, you watched all Last Kingdom?
Oh, great.
Uhtred, son of Uhtred?
Uhtred, son of Uhtred. Or Uhtred the Dane Killer.
Yeah, we got to...
Or Uhtred of his little pissant town, or whatever that was. Yeah, really good.
One more season coming up. Last season.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Looking forward to that. What else? So my catch-up, so my two main shows are now WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing if you guys haven't.
We have watched it. I don't know. Do you want to get into it or not?
We don't have enough time.
No, we don't have enough time.
We're going to talk about it the next episode.
Because I've only seen the 3 episodes that are out. Obviously, we all have.
Yeah.
I mentioned it briefly last weekend, but we decided not to get too much in depth. I don't think we have a lot of time.
No, because I wanted to talk about it and more
we
in
want
depth.
to let it play out a little more because, in my opinion, the show hasn't really started yet.
It hasn't.
I would agree because it's kind of like the Brady Bunch, but set in a Marvel universe, and that's what makes it.
I just
really
want to talk
intriguing.
about.
I mean, it keeps me sucked in. It's like when you can start to realize in the 3rd episode,
You got to come on the next episode.
I'll come on next week, whatever it is.
Because
I will be at Hogwarts next week. So
yeah.
Oh, that's a whole lot. You suck.
The next time we record, we got to talk about WandaVision in depth, I think, just because there's so many things to touch on. There's a lot of Easter eggs.
There is a lot of Easter eggs.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of speculation. There is so much behind this show that people are speculating about.
That's what makes it so awesome to watch is because you got no clue what's going on.
I think it was Nolan that pointed out, he's like, I wasn't enjoying it until I went back and watched a video on YouTube and he saw all the Easter eggs and started diving into the Easter eggs. And he's like, these people are genius.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And this is setting up, you have to understand, this show is setting up all of Phase 4 for Marvel.
Yes.
That includes movies, TV shows, everything. So it plays a lot bigger role than I think everyone thinks. And
so
that's
my
what I want to
immediate impression, because a lot of people have been coming to me because they know that I would be into it, so they want to talk about it. First of all, a lot of people are watching this show. Basically, a lot of people that I know have been coming and asking me questions about it. And the consensus that I'm getting from most people is not good. Most people are not happy with the show to this point. Well, now, I'm not talking about hardcore fans.
It's different.
I'm talking about your average person.
It's so different. And
they want
there's
Endgame.
A problem with that.
They want Captain America. They want Iron Man. And it's not that show. This is
for... But we don't have much time. We're going to talk about that next episode.
My one thing I would say is give it time because it's going somewhere.
Absolutely.
My immediate impression is that I think it's incredible that they would take this kind of a risk.
And so my opinion is enjoy the show for what it is.
Just enjoy the show for what it is.
Enjoy it. It's a throwback to the Brady Bunch and the original sitcoms. Enjoy it. Have fun with it.
The biggest thing right now is that you've got so many other people in the world that read into things so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like just wait for other people to read into it and let them tell you it, because just take it for what it is. Absorb what you can.
Which, for what it's worth, even on the surface level, I find it pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
That's my opinion, but...
The Expanse, Season 5?
I haven't got into it yet.
Neither have I.
You got to like sci-fi. And
I love sci-fi. I want to watch it. It's on my list.
I started Season 1. I have about... I think I've got 3 to 4, maybe even 5 episodes into Season 1.
It's starting to get good.
This show is literally right up my alley of something I would love. I just haven't watched it yet.
The reason I like it so much is it's really to the point where it could happen. It's set in the not too distant future.
Oh, it's gonna.
Well, it has to do with the Epstein Drive and all that great
I understand it, but they're living on a ship in a different part of the galaxy. I think
it's in this galaxy. It has to do with Earth, Mars, and the Outer Rim, which is the belt, which is the asteroid belt.
No, I know it's in this galaxy, but a different part of it. It's like away from Earth, isn't it?
No, it's in this galaxy.
Yes, within the galaxy, just like further away, like up by a different planet, right?
Yeah, just so you have Earth, you have Mars, and you have the Outer Ring, which is the asteroid belt that surrounds our solar system. So you're right. It's in this galaxy. I was thinking solar system. I apologize. You're right. So it has to do with our solar system, and then different warring factions, and then they find a way to leave our solar system.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
Had gathered, like, I just watched them, like, when they were on the ship, like in the first 3 to 4 episodes, and I thought it was really interesting. But Elon Musk is making that shit happen real fast.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Billions. You got to watch Billions.
I haven't seen that.
I've never seen. What is that?
It's about. I've talked about it before.
He's talked about it before.
I don't remember it though.
It's about New York stock exchangers. and it's
You want to talk about the stocks?
Buying GameStop
it's
stocks, Reddit,
exactly what that is.
our Wall Street bets.
Yeah, better shut it down.
And that's what they talk about. And this guy named Bobby Axelrod, that's exactly what he says. He goes, because he was betting on horses when he got into the stock trading. He goes, you got to be able to see the angles, and that's all he does. He has a team of analysts and becomes a millionaire during 9/11.
But you can't shut down my hedge fund.
That's
I don't know. I lost a lot of money today, so
yeah.
Well, that's your fault.
yeah.
That was just poor planning.
I'm calling it gambling. So
That
I wanna
is
be clear.
that is
I wanna be
exactly
clear.
what it was.
I decided to gamble some money on this whole ridiculousness.
You
Not on
didn't-
GameStop, but
No,
dump?
but it's coming.
no, I'm not going to dump. I'm going to hold just like the
No,
Wall
you gotta
Street
hold.
guys. I'm
So
gonna
I know a guy
hold
that's close
It's
to
gonna
us
go up.
that bought at $4 and dumped it last night at the high.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah, they're making-
because it's going to 1,000.
It's gonna go up. I mean, there are people that are gonna make this go up.
Go to that Reddit thread.
I need to.
Nobody is going to dump it. They're just buying
No,
more.
nobody's
and more
dumping
and more.
it, and
Why?
the hedge fund people that have been short squeezed are also having to buy more because of this. They just keep buying more. The only reason it stalled out today is because of Robinhood, the app,
Shut down trading.
completely shut down
And
trading.
they're already being investigated, and they've already got 3 lawsuits.
It's
today.
not legal. It's not legal to do. You cannot just take away people's ability to trade or buy a stock.
If it's a private app, my opinion is, yeah. They
No,
can do
it's
what they want.
it's illegal.
It's illegal to do. They cannot do it.
There's a great video if you like Dave Portnoy or
Oh,
Barstool
he was going
Sports.
nuts today.
Watch the video of him talking about it.
Dave Portnoy's involved with it. David Dobrik, the
Elon
YouTuber,
Musk.
Elon Musk, AOC.
Yeah,
Like, who would have thought that she would be involved with this? But she has also said, like, I completely think this is illegal and they should not be doing that. Ted Cruz agreed with her, and
it's a big deal.
it's
I
wild.
Do you know what happened today?
Apparently not.
Okay, so here's what happened. So we all know about the short squeeze that was
Yeah.
going on, whatever. So on the message boards and everything, they're saying like, okay, well, this is the week. Like this is the turning point. The shorts are in here. Now Tuesday, one of the big shorts said they dropped their positions out, whatever. Everybody's saying hold or buy, hold buy, hold buy. They're doing that. Today was supposed to be like a big turning point day where they were going to turn the corner. What happened is,
And everybody knew that.
and everybody knew that, and everybody was planning that. At the beginning of trading, Robinhood and several other stockbrokers came out and said, we're suspending all trading of these particular stocks. AMC movies, because that's the other one that's going. AMC, GameStop, Nokia, and BlackBerry. We're suspending all trading.
They just completely dropped them. They couldn't.
Only buying. They didn't suspend selling.
And then, so people that had bought into this after a certain point, they all of a sudden just refunded them their money and said, no, you can't have that stock now. Like, as of a certain time, you can't have that stock. Even though market's open, bell rang, like it's open trading. And no, they were not allowing you to trade or buy.
Man, I got to think about this one.
It's not right.
Well, I agree with, but is it legal? Because if they're a private hedge fund,
Of course,
trading
they
company,
came out and said, we're just trying to protect people.
yeah, well, that's bullshit. They're trying to protect their fucking assets.
Yeah, because, I mean, the reality is a lot of normal people that can't afford to lose money are going to lose a lot of money. This isn't going to last forever. The
No.
hammer will drop.
There will be
The
people that
stock will
screw
go
up.
back to $10,
Yeah.
and everybody's going to lose a lot of
But
money.
as of right now, there are people that have a lot of money that are losing a lot of money because of it.
To the tune of,
It
I believe,
flipped.
$10 billion
Oh, yeah,
over the
yeah,
last
yeah.
3 weeks.
Absolutely. And the big argument here is that so all of these people that have millions and millions of dollars can dictate what the stock market does on a day in and day out basis just because they can.
Yes.
But when the normal person comes in and says, no, we're gonna dictate what the market does, and then all of a sudden they lose, the people that have all the money start losing their money, then it's a problem, right? And any normal day, anybody that's like a hedge fund manager or like person that has a lot of money says, why don't you just invest your money? Like, all you need to do is start investing your money properly. Well, when a group of people start doing that and they dictate the market, they're like, wait. don't do what we do.
Yeah. I mean,
need to be
their
something
argument
smaller.
is there's collusion happening because of the message boards, right? So
Sure.
it's technically insider trading,
That's what I was going to say.
but it's not because it's not
insider
an open
trading.
forum. I mean,
it's
in
not
the public.
insider trading when you watch the market and they say, "Hey, watch this fund because I
So-
think
But
it's
it could be
going up."
collusion.
it's
It's-
so what's the difference
it's
between collusion
legal.
and
It's a gray area.
so what's the difference of me and you and Jared down on the stock board floor and we all say, okay, we're going to buy the stock when it hits X amount of dollars.
There's nothing illegal about it. And there's nothing illegal about,
No.
I believe there's nothing illegal about openly on a message board with a bunch of people deciding that you want to buy a certain stock.
I could go on a message board right now and say, "Hey, because of trends and because of what I've seen other millionaire people start buying in the last week, I think people should buy this stock. I bought this amount of stock. And if it went up 15% or something in the next 2 days, that's fine."
So
Anybody can do that. And if you bought into it and made it go up that high, great. Like that's completely fine. There are so many people that pay attention to certain forums or certain websites that show
I'm a member of the
what
Motley
the
Fool.
what the millionaires.
Motley Fool is a paid service where they give you stock
Yes.
tips. It's a, it's
Yes.
a great service, by the way. I recommend it very highly.
There are
Motley Fool.
many, many, many of
Motley
them.
Fool.
I've
that-
heard of it.
It's $99 a year for their stock advisor service.
But they show you what like the big top investors are going after, right?
Yeah.
And you can see what they're going after. That's free, and he's buying that. All right, well, I'm going to buy that. If I posted it on Reddit and told them, "Hey, I'm buying this because I just noticed that this guy was or this investment company was, and I think it's going to go up, and they think it's going to go up. You should invest in it too." That's not collusion.
So a lot of the argument too, and this is what's interesting if you actually follow the forum, which I started doing several days ago. A lot of the people that are investing money in, they have no intention of pulling it out. They are happy to ride it to zero because I don't know if you know this or not, but when this started because people liked GameStop, the business.
Yeah,
they
and
had a modicum of a good report for earnings, and then also a new CEO. People were kind of fired up about it.
But it was going downhill.
It started trending up, but it was going downhill for a reason, Jerry. It was going downhill because hedge funds had shorted 200% of the stock. They had shorted more stock than exists. They had it shorted at 200% or somewhere there's about. I don't even know how that's possible.
I don't know how that works.
But all that means is that they were forcing the business into bankruptcy. When you short more, when you're short more than the actual amount of stock that exists,
Right, then you cannot.
you are forcing the business to bankruptcy.
And then the Reddit users said, "No,
Fuck you.
We aren't going to let that happen."
The only way that works is if nobody buys the stock.
Right.
But if everybody starts buying the stock, they're upside down on their shorts.
Absolutely.
Which is
And
what
then
they
it
did.
I'm
force-
not against short selling.
So that makes
that's
sense.
That's a big difference here. A lot of these people are like, "Fuck short selling, short sellers. It should be illegal."
No, I don't think that's-
absolutely not true.
That's part of the game.
It is a part of the game, and it's an actual legitimate form. I mean, the market exists
Because
to
of
put a
that.
price on things, and
So-
short selling is part of that.
Part
process.
of that process, yeah.
But when you have shorts that are converging from giant equity funds,
That's what I would call collusion.
It
Collusion
is.
would be them coming together and saying, like, "Look, this stock's never going to come back. Let's short sell it until it's
until
gone."
it literally can't exist
Yes,
anymore
until-
and make all of the money.
Exactly, until it's gone, and then we don't have to think about it anymore, and we can go and do our own thing over here. They're colluding to do that. And then when people caught on to it, they decided, "Fuck you, let's bring it back up." And then when that stock starts coming back up, it forces the people that short sell to buy more stock in order to get that back. And it then, in turn, forces it up even more. And
Yeah, I
that
think a
is
lot-
what
So
it
pretty
is.
much a bunch of young billionaires got together who have money.
No. Like teenagers. and
Teenagers who were pissed off.
$100 at a time.
Who were pissed off at these corporations for screwing up GameStop, where majority of kids get their games.
I think that it started that way, and then it evolved into
a
eat
movement.
the rich,
Yeah.
which
Absolutely.
I'm not big on that movement, but it evolved into a more political thing.
It
But
evolved
did
into something
start with,
ridiculous, but-
why are these assholes trying to crush this business?
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's
That's
the
just
same thing with AMC.
this opened up like a Pandora's box of opportunity, and it has proven to people and shown people, and this is where everyone's really worried, is that it has shown the general public what you can do with the stock market at any point in time, whenever you want, that people didn't realize was possible.
That and
where people are being taught and informed, and they're learning about what can happen on the stock market every single day because of social media and because of what is going on. And this is going to change trading forever.
Oh,
I think.
this will.
it's already been changed. Not from this last year. All right. There's a phenomenon that started the second they made everybody stay home.
Yeah.
And it was called retail investing or
sure, people started looking into that.
It really, honestly, it started with Robinhood. It started with $0 trades.
Yeah.
Which now is E-Trade, and they're all $0 trades because they had to.
Yeah.
And it started with, and it also partly started with cryptocurrency, with regular people, realizing that this is going to force
This is going to force more people into cryptocurrency because
Absolutely. Do you understand that only 8% of the stock market is the bottom 95% of the population only accounts for 8% of the investment in all the total stock market?
It doesn't. Honestly, that doesn't
the top
surprise me at all.
Is the rest.
That's pretty scary.
But it's not. I mean, think about the purchasing power that exists out there. So everybody says, they go, "Oh, Tesla's way overvalued." You go, but when you take 300, how many people are in the United States? 300 million.
300 million. Yeah.
350 million.
Yeah.
You take 350 million people or 340 million people that weren't participating, and they all put $1,000 in the game.
And it changed.
It's a different game.
It changed the entire market.
And all of a sudden you go, it doesn't matter that Tesla's not worth what they think it's worth.
You can make a difference.
Everybody puts their money in it. It's it.
It'll
continue to go up forever if everybody keeps doing that. At some point, the hammer's always going to drop because there's a division. There's so many options, right?
Yeah.
So there's a division of it. But if you take that 8% investment in the stock market from 95% of the population and bring that up to 25%, you know what kind of a difference that is?
It's huge.
So if people are pissed at the world because corporations run the country or whatever you want to call it, and you want to make a difference, this is your way to make a difference. You get on these social media pages and you say, hey, how can we fix this problem? And you go in and they say, you need to buy this stock. You need to get this corporation to go into bankruptcy so they're not influencing the government anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I would not recommend anybody to put any money into these stocks. They're not good stocks.
Yeah.
These aren't
if you want to talk about volatile, this is volatile. Like, you don't want to be a part of it as of right now.
If you had $100 to put into one of these stocks, you need to be 100% comfortable with crumpling up a $100 bill and throwing it out the window of your vehicle right now and never thinking about it again.
Had you bought some shares of GameStop prior to any of this happening, and then all of a sudden woke up the next day and looked and it was up 300%, you won.
Yeah.
And you can sell that off, and that's fine.
Or you can hold it forever. Whatever you want to do with it, that's fine. Make sure you have no attachment to that money or don't need it for anything.
But I'm saying, like, if you just happen to be like, you know what, I want to buy some GameStop because I want GameStop to keep going. Like, I need to get it. I want to get into it, and hopefully it can build up the company. And you bought like 10 shares for $4, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden it boomed the next day. You won. Like, you're the guy who won.
Let me be clear. There's no future for GameStop.
No, there is not.
They no world in which they have a future.
Exists.
Why would you buy a disc ever when you just download it?
Everybody downloads their games now.
Now, I mean, have you been at GameStop lately? They sell merchandise. And they sell some cool merchandise. Actually, I
haven't been there in years.
But, you go in there and it's 20% more than Amazon.
I tell you what, I've seen a lot of funny memes about people buying stock in GameStop, and then when they go to sell it in, it's like a GameStop employee, and they're like, listen,
I'll give you $2.
Yeah, you're trading this in, and the best I can do is about, $2.50, $2.50, something like that. And they're like, wait, I bought $300 worth of shares. Like, yeah, trade in value.
So that's why I had no interest in GameStop. What I did have interest in when this got going was AMC, which I think is a legit company. And I understand that streaming is the future.
The death.
And I think right now
there's going to be one overarching movie.
It's going to be AMC. It's going to be them. And B, the experience of going to the movies is not going to go away.
And I love it.
–
Eventually,
I agree.
We're going to have vaccines and this COVID shit's going to be over and movie theaters are going to be as big as they ever have been.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You know what else is
So I have no qualms about buying AMC stock for $8. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. If it rides out, you're going to have to play the long game.
I don't know what my downside risk is.
You're just going to have to play the long game.
You
You have to play literally a long game. You're going to have to ride this wave out.
I'm not a day trader. I buy companies that I think have potential. I buy companies that I believe in first off, and then I buy companies, that I think are undervalued, and then I don't plan on selling them until I retire. So,
well, this conversation has
AMC?
brought us into a point where I don't think we could talk about any more of what we're watching.
No, we're over time anyway. So
I have two more shows two more shows to talk about what we're watching, but we'll have to get into that next episode.
Great content for next episode.
Yep.
I can talk all about Men in Black because I watched that.
Which one?
The original.
Oh, the original?
Yeah, well, there's a Men in Black ride at Universal, and Cash was asking me, he's like, what's Men in Black?
Galaxy
I'm like, we gotta watch it.
Gotta watch it. Great movie.
It was just as good as I remembered.
It is a very good movie.
You get
I
the
enjoy
noisy cricket.
All right, so for Snarf Talk, remember, guys, if you're watching this, share, please.
Just share the crap out of it. That's all you
Share
got to
it.
do. Click the share button. You don't have to put a description or nothing.
No,
just put it.
just hit share.
Just hit share and
Every
send
time
it
somebody
off.
shares it, it ups the views by like 500. It's insane.
It's a lot. Yes.
Annoy your friends on Facebook and just.
No.
I'm sorry.
If your friends are annoyed by a wonderful local podcast,
Hey, I
Yeah.
share you guys.
you have the wrong friends.
I share you guys every week.
Because they're gonna love it.
So share patreon.com/snarfcomics. Check it out. Also, if you're listening on the podcast form, please like and leave a review on whatever app you're using. For Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I'm Dude.
I am Jerry.
See ya.
Bye.